Couldn't get a toe from anyone. Put a 33.3, I think it was, on the board, which is relatively quick. I think it was, up there definitely for this weekend. And obviously with a toe, that would have given me an extra second or two, depending on where I was at. And I just couldn't find it, which was really upsetting. But it's racing, right? So as Zandvoort taught, I can fight forward. I can get up there. So I've just got to put the big boy pants on and send it.
That's it. You've proved to yourself at Zandvoort that you can go from almost last to the front. So
Yep.
You can do it here as well. The middle of the pack you are, so you can do it.
Yeah, just let's hope no one else decides to mount me today.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers are always crossed, Sam.
Brilliant. Thank you very much
Thanks
for
so
talking
much.
to us, Ed.
Cheers, Sam. Thanks.
I'm here with James Cook from the 270R Championship. James, how's your weekend going so far here at Silverstone?
So far, really, really good. Just finished qualifying P3, so really, really good starting position for the race this afternoon. Very, very tough session. Lots of slipstreaming and trying to get your car in the right place to get a good lap in. So yeah, so far so good.
And how's the Rook and Cook show going this year with David Rook? You normally last year we were having quite a lot of battles with each other, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit quiet at the start of this year, but we're slowly kind of finding each other again. So we're not far away from each other on the grid this week. So hopefully we're going to have a bit more.
Let's talk about Zandvoort. Unfortunately, you weren't there.
Yeah, I'd had an incident at Croft, which meant my car needed some repairs done to it. So with the tight turnaround and the shipping for Zandvoort, I had to miss that round. But we're back here this weekend, hoping to go fast.
And back up at the top of the leaderboard for the qualifying, so that's great. So hopefully we'll see you on the podium.
That's always the plan. Yeah, taking a trophy home at the end of the weekend is always the aim. Getting some points for the championship. Because obviously having a non-finish and then missing a weekend, I need the points now for a championship. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, James. Wish you all the best for this afternoon's race.
Thank you very much.
At Silverstone we had
Well, good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the home of British Motorsports here at Silverstone on VARC TV, the first of 2 days on the full Grand Prix circuit here at Silverstone. A very busy weekend with the British Automobile Racing Club. It's great to have the ROKiT F4 British Championship certified by FAA with us for 3 races. You normally see them supporting the British Touring Car Championship. They have their first race this afternoon, but first up we will have the Vertex Watches Caterham Road Sport Championship. It's a total of 3 Caterham Championships here this weekend. We also have the Mission Motorsport Caterham 270Rs and also the Motul Caterham 7 310Rs, the quickest cars you will see this weekend. In the middle of all that we have a 2-hour race for the British Endurance Championship. The first race is lining up on track now, the Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship. Dave Goddard here as always taking you through the action, and alongside me is a man who knows far more about Caterham racing than I do. It's Chris Hutchinson. Chris, good afternoon.
A very good afternoon to Silverstone, and I can see the heat haze coming off the track at the moment, so brilliant conditions out here, ready for some Caterham action throughout. I'm starting with the road sports today, and they've been out already qualifying this morning. So how do they get on, Dave?
Well, looking at the grid, it is the championship leader Ben Timmons who has set pole position as the cars move off for their green flag lap. The number 8 Ben Timmons on pole. Only 4 points covering the top 4 in the championship, though it's third place man Tom McEwen who will line up alongside him in the number 89. Second row, Toby Ballard, number 72, and the number 88 of Ryan Wilby. Row 3, Nick Bryant in number 28, number 70 Simon Saviour. Fourth row, 14 Bob Kennelly and 77 of Harvey Lawrence. He currently sits 5th in the championship. On the 5th row, completing the top 10, 99 Dan Hope and the 93 of Craig Boyle. Moving on to the 6th row, we have number 10 Alistair Davidson and number 3 Edward Conti. Then down in 13th on the grid is the man who's second in the championship, the marvellously named Lionel Tolmach in car number 22, alongside the 20 of James Empson. Lionel had a win at Alton Park earlier in the season. 44 Rob Lowe and number 5 Tony Jenner fill row 8. The 9th row Solomon Rogers, number 65 and 66 of Oliver Kibblewhite. And the 10th row 87 Henry Littlejohn starts alongside the 15 of Lyndon Arnold. Moving on back, we've got Darren Buckler number 68, 21 Richard Harris on row 11. The 12th row is 33 Zach Lower and 55 Guy Crossman. Row 13, it's Rob Gregor number 40 and 49 of Graham Finlayson. Row 14, number 60 Mark Soden starts alongside number 31, Andrew Bailey, and on row 15, Charlie Hazelwood, number 63, 23 of Gary Cross, and number 18, Ian Bettis will start at the back of the grid. They're heading around on their green flag lap at the moment. Just a quick chance to tell us a little bit more about the cars we'll see in this race, Chris. I believe this is the second rung on the Caterham ladder, if you like.
Indeed, yes, this is the second run. So these were the graduates from the Caterham Academy Championship. The Academy's not with us this weekend, but these are the drivers that would have been the Academy last year. It's a fully road legal car, 125 horsepower, 1.6 Ford Sigma engine under their right foot. Their upgrades compared to the Academy are they have the Avon ZZS tyre, which gives them probably about 2 to 3 seconds around a large track like here at Silverstone. And yeah, they've still got the windscreen, so they're sort of less race focused than the other two championships we've got here. We've got the 270 and 310s with us this weekend. We're also missing the Caterham 7 Championship UK. They're going to be next out at Portimao, so they're building up to that. But these road sports give us a great action. They're still learning their craft, and we've got I think about 31 cars on this grid, so it's fantastic to see them all out there, and a colourful field they make indeed.
This will be a 20-minute race for the Caterham 7 Road Sport Championship, sponsored by Vertex Watches. It is that very bright purple car of Ben Timmins, the championship leader, by just a couple of points over Lionel Tolmach, who is on pole position. The bright yellow and green machine of Tom McEwen will start alongside him. Moving up towards the grid then, just through Luffield. We're using the old national pit straights this weekend. The cars will be moving into line very shortly following their green flag lap. Great to see these drivers get the chance to race on the full Grand Prix circuits here at the Silverstone circuits.
Can anyone stop that man, Ben Timmins? He's won 5 of the opening 6 events that we've had. He's really on a charge. Like we said, Lionel Tolmach has won the only other race. Tom McEwen has been on around the podium for all the other ones, and he's winds up second today. But Tom McEwen finds himself down in 6th place in the championship after Zandvoort, where he had DNF. Unfortunately, Ben Timmins missed a gear, and it meant McEwen bashed into the back of him. It popped his radiator, and that was the end of one of his races at Zandvoort. So he's a bit further down in the championship than we might expect, but once we take into account drop scores, which this championship has 2 drop scores, by the end of the season that will be all evened out. But it is Ben Timmins who comes in here on an absolute run of form, and you can see him there in that purple machine alongside the green machine of Tom McEwen there.
A lot of heat haze there on the grid. It's very warm and humid here at Silverstone today. We hope that any rain stays away. It's a bit overcast at the moment, but then again at Silverstone you can have different types of weather in 3 different areas of the track given its length. 20 minutes of racing for the Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship coming up then, once everybody is in position on this big 31 car grid. We await the marshals to wave the green flag from the back, and then the power will come on and everybody will be heading down to the right-hander at Copse Corner. The revs are up and away they go. The first race of the weekend gets underway here at Silverstone. It's a man Copse Corner who is going to get the advantage. We've got contact there. 99 of Daniel Hope has tangled with somebody on the outside. Couldn't quite see there who the other car was. They're off on the outside.
Yeah, you can see his rear suspension broken on Hope there, so his car will be on the inside there. It might mean a full restart, but also let's keep an eye out for these safety card boards. But yeah, at least one of those cars not going anywhere. The other one was a sort of greeny car. I wonder if that's Craig Boyle is a greeny car. Let's keep an eye out for him.
They were on the same row of the grid, so I'd imagine it is Craig that's involved there. It's Tom McEwen who leads the way though into our first lap from our pole sitter Ben Timmins as they head out of the Beckett's complex through Chapel and up towards the Hanger Straights. The yellow number 33, we can see there, that's Zach Lower. They head side by side down the Hanger Straight up towards the daunting Stowe corner. That looks like it's the number 72 who are trying to make a move on the inside. That's Toby Ballard, and he's going to take the lead as they slipstream their way down towards Stowe for the first time. It gets absolutely frantic in there. They're one of the most aerodynamic of cars in motorsport, so slipstreaming is key.
You're going to see lots of that today with these road sport cars with their windscreen as well, coming down Hanger Straight with a bit of a headwind as well, means that they are pushing a lot of wind aside, and you can see Toby Ballard got past at least 2 cars there, and we're going to see more of that as we see. Craig Boyd just a little bit wide out there. Ballard, I think he might have dropped back a little bit again, but it is Timmins McEwen as they come up towards us at the Hamilton Straight.
Yes, out of Club Corner down the Sir Lewis Hamilton Straight towards Abbey. It is now our pole sitter Ben Timmins who has gone to the front, chased by Toby Ballard. McEwen is in 3rd place. The rest of them start to sort themselves out behind. Almost too quick for the eye through there up towards the right-hander at Village. Tom McEwen tries to make a move on the inside, but he's not close enough. He'll try and get second away from Toby Ballard. 2 and 3 abreast all the way further down the pack. Just about managed to sort themselves out. There's that 33 car of Zach Lower back in the midfield, getting very busy in there. There's Craig Boyle, the 93 I got a glimpse of, so he has kept going after that contact off the line with Daniel Hope. They head onto the Wellington straight then, out under the bridge and towards the left-hander at Brooklands corner. Toby Ballard trying to make a move on the inside, but he's got somebody tucked in behind him there. Is that Ryan Wilby, who started 4th? Hard to pick out the numbers.
I think that's Bryant actually in the blue car there, so it's Nick Bryant who's come up a place on the grid. So it is Ballard who still remains in front at the moment, with McEwing in front of them, and it's that man Timmins slowly looking like he's pulling away. They're going through a yellow flag zone as we speak now. Obviously they're covering that race, the lap 1 incident under that yellow flag, so they'll all have to be careful with those overtakes. In fact, I think they're preparing maybe the safety car board, so they're certainly deciding what they're going to be doing. But it is Timmins currently leads over that line for that first lag ahead of McEwing, Ballard. Bryant up that 1 place, Kennelly up 2 places, and Ryan Wilby's the loser there with down 2 spaces.
Yes, let's have a look who we've lost. Yeah, number 70 of Simon Sabin is the other car that hasn't come round on the first lap. It's a 4-5 car train for the lead, then into Beckett's for the second time, with the number 8 of Ben Timmins, the championship leader, up front ahead of Tom McEwing. It's Toby Ballard 3rd. This is Nick Bryant, number 28 of the blue car, has come through into 4th position. Number 14 of Rob Kennelly is in 5th, and Ryan Wilby is in 6th position. We've got a spinner. That's the number 44 car of Rob Lowe, has lost it at Chapel, will rejoin a few places down the pack. And look at this, 3 wide for the lead, and Toby Ballard nearly squeezed onto the grass there down the inside as Ben Timmins tried to move across, protect the lead. He has done so. McEwing in 2nd place now. Nick Bryant's having a go around the outside, and Ryan Wilby, the orange and white car there on the inside, that's Ryan Wilby trying to make a move at Stone.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of that as they all head into Vale. You can see how complicated and busy it's getting down as they head into that Vale corner. It is Timmins who's somehow managing to stay out in front of them, and it's a clump of cars behind, all fighting over that same bit of time. I can see how wide this Silverstone circuit is for a Caterham. You can certainly get about 10 cars wide if you want as they head out, but all these corners absolutely flat out. We rarely dip below motorway speed even through the corners around this 3.6 miles of the Silverstone Grand Prix loop.
Ben Timmins has pulled out a slight lead as they head up towards Farm and Village. Tom McEwing side by side with Toby Ballard, then tucked in behind them is Bryant. 5th place behind them, Ryan Wilby. Oh, under fire there from the 93. The number 3's got ahead of them as well. That's Edward Cozzy in the number 3. The 93, the yellow car, is Craig Boyle, so it clearly wasn't him involved in that start line instead. It must have been Simon Sabin. So we didn't see him come through on the opening lap, but a great battle here for the lower reaches of the top 10.
Yeah, Simon Sabin in a yellow machine, so that could have easily been that car in the opening lap. Ben Timmins, though, is disappearing up the road. McEwing having to fight for Ballard. Nick Bryant is shoving his car down the inside. Nick Bryant had a great qualifying and into Brooklands this time through. He's got that momentum. It is possible to get around the outside, and Ballard looks like he's fighting back. And there's Boyle a little bit further back having fights with Tolmarsh as well. And Ryan Wilby in his new liveried car this weekend, so it is him in that white and orange. We're used to seeing him sort of a grey and blue, but get used to his car out there, and I can see Sol Rogers and others as they flow on through. Harvey Lawrence there a little bit further down. He's comes in here quite high up in the championship. I think he's 3rd place as we go into this weekend, so he is he's a little bit further down than he might want to be.
So Ballard 2nd as they went over the line. 1.5 seconds now the lead for Ben Timmins, who's saying, well, if you're all going to squabble over 2nd place, I'm going to pull out a lead at the front of the field.
Head up then into this Beckett's complex, a fantastic complex for all our drivers. You see them heading away from us, and they start here at sort of about 100 miles an hour. They drop down to about 70 miles an hour as they head through this left-hand segment before getting back on that power, and by the time we rejoin the hangar straight, they're already doing about 90 to 100 miles an hour. So it really is absolutely flat out in these Caterhams, these road sports. They're probably going to be doing about 112, 115 by the time they get down to Stoke.
Here they come down the hangar straight under the bridge. It's Toby Ballard trying to defend 2nd place from Tom McEwing. It's back up into 3rd now. He's going to make a move for 2nd place as they come into the right-hander. Tucked in behind them is Nick Bryant, the blue car. Then we've got the 88 of Ryan Wilby. No, Wilby's been shuffled back in there. He's side by side with, I think that's Lionel Tolmack trying to come through after his slightly lowly qualifying position of 13th. He took the win in round 1 this year in a photo finish with Ben Timmins at Alton Park. Timmins unbeaten ever since then. He's looking to remain unbeaten for another race in a row. He's got 6 wins in succession this season, which is an unusual feat in any Caterham Championship. With a line of about 10 cars at the front of the field, they fan out across the straights. McEwing has got through there into 2nd place throughout it.
Yeah, and it's Cozzy is the man on the move at the moment. That number 6 car there, he started 12th on the grid. Sorry, the number 3 car. He started 12th on the grid. He's made up 6 places, and you can see him there in that 3 going around here into the complex of Village and Loop. And Nick Bryant is, as I say, also having a good run, but it is Cozzy that's on the move right now.
Ryan Wilby's dropped back a little. He's side by side with the number 10 of Alistair Davidson. They're fighting over that, I think, about 8th place as they make their way into the Wellington Straight. The 65 of Sol Rogers with the yellow wheels up behind them there as they head down the straight. There's Craig Boyle in the yellow car just lurking at the back of this group, and here's that battle, the second group headed by Tolmash. They're behind the number 10 now, trying to make a move into Brooklands. He'll go through on the inside, breaks up the place. We'll see what the order is as they cross the line this time. It's a long lap here on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. They're coming through to complete their 3rd lap this time. Ben Timmons it is who leads the fastest lap, 2:34.547. That's usurped though by some down the pack, and it's Craig Boyle, 2:33.732, who sets the fastest lap of the race. That's the yellow car. Round the outside, Tom McEwing side by side with Nick Bryant. They're battling for 3rd position. It's Timmons who leads from Ballard, McEwing, Bryant. Edward Cozzy is up in the 5th. He's got up another place ahead of number 14 of Rob Kennelly. Boyle's up to 7th, then Tolmash, Wilby and Davidson rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Cozzy continues his move up through the field. The outstanding lap record at the moment is a 2:32.3 by Freddie Chiddicks. We heard from him before the race, but he still holds that road spot. Will that last this weekend? At the moment they're about 2nd behind that, so they've got a bit of time to find, but plenty of opportunity to do that as they head out onto the hangar straight. Then Timmins' lead has come down this time through, and Ballard is now firmly in that tow. You can see his car catching up as they head down the straight. It is McEwing who's having to be a bit on the defensive, isn't he? With that's Bryant now going down the inside as they head into Stowe with the classic overtake here. It's a little demonstration that a little bit further back as well.
3 wide there. Ryan Wilby was caught in the middle. He's dropped back behind Tolmash and the number 10 of Alistair Davidson. Sol Rogers, who was a bit sideways through Chapel at the top of the straight, is just behind them. So we've got a group of 7 cars fighting for the lead. It's still Timmons, I think, who leads them through. Yes, ahead of Toby Ballard. They're separated by 0.85 of a second at the start of this lap as they head up towards the Hamilton Straight, past the wing, up towards the right-hand Rattami. Ballard's going to try and make a move on the inside. Looks like he's going to go through.
Yeah, that's a move for the lead there, isn't it? So Timmins has lost that little gap we saw earlier on, but it is now Ballard who heads that, and a great result for him out front, out ahead of Nick Bryant, who's also really showing his nose to now down the inside of Timmins, who defends around the outside. He'll have the inside for the loop as they head around this time through, but they're still side by side, absolutely wheel-to-wheel action here in the Vertex Caterham Road Sport. First race for them this weekend, first of 2 20-minute races.
Good to see Ed Cozzy up there as well, the number 3, the best we've seen him run this year. He's in 4th position, has got ahead of the 89 of Tom McEwing as they head down the Wellington Straight under bridge. Ballard just about has the lead, 3 wide for 2nd place. It's the purple car of Timmons in the middle. Bryant's got round the outside into 2nd as they go into Brooklands. Timmons nearly touches the back of him. Then the next 3 behind them are Kennelly in the silver car, McEwing in green, and Boyle in the yellow car with the orange cage. Between these 7 for the lead, and we're just past half distance, just under 10 minutes of this race to go. As they come up over the line, we'll see what the gap is this time, with Nick Bryant trying to attack for the lead now as they come past our commentary position at Woodcote. Side by side as they come over the line. Ballard from Bryant by just 19 thousandths of a second. Nick Bryant's going to have the inside line for the first corner at Copse, but Ballard keeps his foot in. Here comes Timmons around the outside. They almost bounce off each other. This is going to be close. Look at Timmons. He could go around the outside of both of them in the run up towards the left flick at Maggots. Can he take the lead away? No, he's boxed in on the inside there. Bryant will hold 2nd. Ballard holds the lead. Still allowing Cozzy to close up as well. I'm struggling to keep up with this already. This is fantastic. Boyle's closed up in 5th now as well. McEwing 6th, and in 7th place, who's that behind them? Rob Kennelly.
Yeah, absolutely. McEwing's dropping back through this little pack at the moment, so he's going to be a bit concerned about that. Like we said on the last few times, Ed Cozzy is the man on the move forward. He finished 4th place in the last race we had at Zandvoort last time out, so he's looking to see whether he can get his first podium here in the Road Sports as they fan out 4 wide into Stowe then, as it's still Nick Bryant with that with the sort of the momentum through the middle there, Boyle around the outside, then it's the Cozzy car in there with McEwing now having to fight off with Kennelly.
Look at the way Craig Boyle is going, the 93, very impressive. He started 10th on the grid. He could be into a podium position here. No, not quite. He's still behind Ben Timmons. Still Ballard and Bryant. Ballard a little bit sideways there through this long right-hander at the Club Corner complex out onto the Hamilton Straight. He's still got the lead as they head towards our camera. Then it's Nick Bryant moving to the inside at Abbey. There's moves being made further back in the top 10 as well. As Bryant will take the lead for the first time. Timmins up the inside. Then it's the number 93 of Boyle, who's already gained 3 places on this lap, trying to move into the podium. This is more like motorcycle racing with Caterham racing around Silverstone. This is superb.
Yeah, they're racing in little pack races very close there. Boyle to the rear end of McEwen. Remember, their radiators are right at the front of these cars. You can't afford to hit the car of the rear of the car in front. That's the first thing that breaks is your radiator, and that is a race-ending manoeuvre. But it is still Ballard and Bryant who kind of manoeuvred themselves in front of Timmins, and it looks like Bryant going round the outside there of Aintree as they head out onto the as they're coming down into Brooklands this time. But Timmins had that 3 slingshot, and he's slingshotted the inside into Brooklands this time. What a move there. So Ballard and so Nick Bryant's been shuffled down from the lead temporarily down into that 3rd place, and Ballard's showed him he's thrown at the edge of the track there.
That was brilliant from Ben Timmins. He timed that to perfection down the inside into Brooklyn. That's exactly how to overtake it at Caterham. You've got to slipstream into the lead at exactly the right moment. That's why you don't want to be leading going into the last couple of corners, because you will get slipstream on the run to the line. Now he's positioning himself to the inside to try and cover that lead into Copse Corner. Ballard's up there alongside him. There's Bryant in 3rd. Ed Cossie going well up there in 4th in the number 3. It's Rob Kennelly into 5th now, and Boyle's been shuffled back again. He's down to 6th there, just ahead of Tom McEwen. They're clear of Ryan Willoughby by a couple of seconds. Then Davidson and Rogers rounding out the top 10. There's a bit of smoke there from one of those cars. Yes, is that some damage or an engine blow up? Is that Nick Bryant?
That looks like quite a lot of engine smoke there rather than rubbing smoke. So that might well be that he has punctured a radiator at some point during that close action. Hopefully not for him. But this front group of 6 are sort of broken away. We're watching a little bit further back down the field. That front group of 6 cars there was a chase group, and they were coming back with Ryan Willoughby, but at the moment it's that's going to happen. Boyle is now back ahead of McEwen, but McEwen is shoving down the inside, looking to see whether he can also get down the inside of Kennelly there in the grey number 14 car. But it is Timmins who's managed to manoeuvre himself back out. He stopped the decay down through that field and has now moved himself back to the front. But there is that Bryant car. What a shame for him.
Yeah, Nick Bryant was running so well in there, but the car has let him down. He's out of the race. Let's hope he's far enough off the circuit that we don't need a safety car. It's under 6 minutes of this race to go. Of course, safety cars take some time here at Silverstone, the Grand Prix circuit. It's such a long lap. Along the Sir Lewis Hamilton Straight then with, looks like it's Ballard now back out in front ahead of Tom McEwen. Where's he come from? Back up into 2nd place. He must have slipstreamed his way through on the Wellington on the Hanger Straight, I should say.
I think that's exactly what happened there. Again, you can easily make up 3 places, especially in this road sport car where they've got a bit of headwind down there, as well as he dives down the inside. Is he going to be able to move up 5 places in a single lap? I think he's near there, but Ballard is going to hold the inside as they go around the left. It's not going to give him the best run out now onto the Wellington Straight though, so Tom McEwen will have an opportunity to take that lead, but it's Ben Timmins, his as well companion, always together on the piece of track, and they've managed to manoeuvre themselves back and nose to tail again.
This is brilliant stuff, as we always see from the Vertex Watches Caterham Road Sport Championship. Tom McEwen could have a go for the lead here as they go into Brooklands. He's positioned to the inside, but Toby Ballard moves to cover. Ben Timmins up behind them once again. Then it's Cossie and I think Kennelly battling it out for 4th behind them, with Craig Boyle in their wheel tracks as well. Between this half dozen for the victory here in our first race of the weekend at Silverstone. Don't forget they have another race coming up tomorrow, the road sports category, supported by Vertex Watches. Over the line they come once again to complete their 6th lap. It was Ballard who led at the line ahead of McEwen. Timmins in 3rd place, then Rob Kennelly in 4th. That's the silver car with the red nose. Cossie is down to 5th, then it's Boyle. Lionel Tolmark heads the 2nd group now ahead of Willoughby, Davidson and Rogers.
So we've got 2 laps of this road sport race to go then, with 4 minutes on the clock, and it's better be about timing for the drivers out there. You've seen that they can all manoeuvre themselves from the front to the back of this 6-car group of cars just by going down the straight and catching a double toe. So it's going to be about working out where do you want to be at this stage of the race that you can allow you to move forward without opening up your rear defences to people dive bombing you into this Hanger Straight. This is the crucial part of the track today. Tom McEwen looking outside of Ballard, but it is the Timmins with that double toe, he's down the inside. They really are trying to work it out, and that's Cozzy right to the outside of Stowe. That is 4 wide as we enter into this 80 to 90 miles an hour as they head through Stowe Corner that time. Cozzy managed to hold them round the outside of Ballard, and he's going to have the inside as they head into Vale this time. So you can see how much manoeuvring these cars are capable of, and as they head into Vale this time, they've got 3 minutes left, so like I said, this is their penultimate lap.
4 wide, that was briefly 6 wide into Stowe Corner. I've never seen that from any category before. This is fantastic stuff. So who's come out with the lead? Looks like it is still Ballard who is there with the lead. Tricky to pick them out there as they come through Club. Ben Timmins trying to make a move for the lead as they come down towards Abbey on the inside. Tucked in behind them on the outside line, that's Cozzy in the number 3 with the yellow number plate cover on the nose. Side by side for the lead as they head through. Then McEwing's been shuffled back towards the rear of this group again in the green car. Who's going to come out with the lead? You can see making a move to the inside there is McEwing. He's going to try and go up the inside of Rob Kennelly for, no, that's Boyle. That's Boyle, I apologise, in the 93, the other light green car on the tail of Cozzy now up into 4th place. Oh, he's lost it. Right, Craig Boyle, I caught a glimpse there. I thought I'd lost it coming through. Yeah, he spun coming through the loop, so we're down to 5 for the lead now.
He just touched that curb and the car was already at full tilt on angle, and unfortunately that curb just didn't offer the grip that he needed to hold his car in a straight line. But it is Timmins then as they come down Wellington Straight once more. Ballard fighting with Cozzy. Is Cozzy going to be up into that 2nd place? He is, so he's looking for his first podium road sports, and it's looking good for now. But you see how many times these all change positions as we head on through. Bit of a gap now back to McEwing there and Kennelly. That battle for the 4th and 5th currently, and then an even more of a sort of gap before we get this little chase pack who have now been shuffled back.
Find out where Craig Boyle comes through after that quick spin. There he is, so he's back just outside the top 10, I think, as they head over the line to start the final lap of this incredible Vertex Caterham Road Sports Championship race. Timmins leads from Cozzy, Ballard, McEwing and Kennelly. As they come through over the line, yeah, Boyle is down to 10th place as a result of that spin. He's still got the fastest lap of the race, though. Meanwhile, a penalty for one of the cars further back in the order. That's the 33 Zach Lower's got a track limits penalty of 5 seconds. And there we see Craig Boyle. I think he just touched the back of Cozzy and was spun around by a bit of unintentional contact from Kennelly.
Yeah, just a bit of a chain reaction there through the pack as they're running so close. That just a little nudge there, and I say it didn't help that he was pushing hard on that curb on the inside and just turned them around. But we are down the Hanger Straight then, one of the main overtaking spots for the last lap of this race, and it is Cozzy who's going to look to the outside of Timmins there, and it's Ballard who's going to look to the outside of both of them as they come 3 wide into Stowe this time.
This is fantastic. 3 wide into Stowe Corner. Ballard's gone around the outside of both of them. Can he get round the brakes? Yes, he can get the car stopped just about. No, he's drifted wide on the exit. They'll come back at him. They're still going to be 3 wide, I think, on the run up the Vale and into the Club Corner complex. Who's going to come out of this with the lead? Ballard's held the left-hand side of the road. He locks up on the run into Club, somehow gets the car stopped, and he's got the lead by going around the outside of 2 cars at Stowe. That's an incredible manoeuvre by Toby Ballard, looking for his first win in the Vertex Caterham Road Sports category. Ben Timmins, the championship leader, looking for win number 6 this season. It's between these 3, I would say, now at the front of the field, or is it? Because fighting back is Tom McEwing. Here comes Timmins on the inside into Abbey, then up towards the left flick at Farm, and then into the slower right-hander at Village. It's Ballard who are side by side now with Timmins up the inside into Village Corner. He knows it's pretty much now or never, and it's the left-hander at the loop, and then through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. McEwing runs a bit wide in 4th place behind them. I think it's going to be between these 3. They're heading towards the Wellington Straight for the final time. This is going to be certainly not for the faint of heart into Brooklands Corner.
McEwing just about hanging on in there. He went wide, I think, to try and get a slingshot, but it's not worked out. This top 3 do look like they might well have this, depending on that, and it is Cozzy down the inside and really tight to the inside. There might have even been a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Can Cozzy get late enough on the brakes so they go into Brooklands this time, keep the back end under control? Timmins around his outside, not giving many room, but it is Cozzy who's coming out into Luffield for the last time.
I thought that was going to end in disaster there. I thought they were going to bang wheels and spin out going into Brooklands, but it is Edward Cozzy who's got the lead ahead of Ben Timmins. Timmins will try and slipstream him on the run to the line. What an incredible race we have seen to open the weekend here at Silverstone. They're coming up towards the line. This is going to be really close at the checkered flag. They're going to finish side by side. We're going to have to go to the timing screen for this one, and Ed Cozzy has just held it by 11 thousandths of a second. Incredible.
Absolutely amazing. They will check that on the finish line camera as well, just to confirm that. But Cozzy, look, who could stop Timmins? Well, it looks like it's Cozzy at the moment. What a race for him. Timmins just 11 thousandths of a second behind. Then it's Ballard taking up that final podium position ahead of Tom McEwing. He'll be a bit disappointed with that 4th place, but it was looking worse than that at one point. Kennelly drifting to 5th and Tolmarth down in that 6th place.
The top four covered by less tthan 4/10 of a second at the line. Incredible. Brilliant racing. That's unusually fierce just for the first race of a weekend for the Caterhams. They loved every second of that here at Silverstone. Just waiting to get official confirmation of the result come through on the timing screen provisionally. It's Edward Cozzi who has taken the win. He's only down 11th in the championship coming into this weekend. Wins by 11 thousandths of a second ahead of Ben Timmons and Toby Ballard, completing the podium in car number 72, with Tom McEwing in fourth, and a small gap back of a couple of seconds to Rob Kennelly in fifth position, and Lionel Tolmach coming through from the seventh row of the grid to take sixth place.
Yeah, Ed Cody having a bit of a topsy-turvy season so far, kind of being in the bottom end of the top 10 or in the midfield pack, but last time out, like I say, at Zandvoort, he did get to fourth place, and he skipped from fourth all the way up to first place here in this race. What an event for him this time out.
Somebody spun at Club Corner. Is that on the slowdown lap?
They were asked this morning not to go too slow on their slowdown lap, but if there was a bit of oil down or water down, then maybe that's it. But it does look like a grey machine. There was
not Rob Kennedy.
Kennedy was in the lead group as a grey car, so maybe it was. That'd be a bit embarrassing for him. But Timmons there, kind of ahead of coming in here, but McEwing there in that fourth place as well. He needs to really get back on that top step if he wants to mount his championship charge. We're 3 rounds in. This is our 4th round out of 7, so we're at that kind of halfway mark now. After they finished that first race, going into this second half of the season tomorrow.
Well, check out the provisional results from the Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship Race 1. Edward Cozzi taking the win ahead of Ben Timmons by 0.011 of a second. Toby Ballard taking third place ahead of Tom McEwing. A little gap back to Rob Kennelly in fifth ahead of Lionel Tolmach. Then Alistair Davidson, Solomon Rogers, Ryan Wilby, and the unlucky Craig Boyle completing the top 10, although he did get the fastest lap of the race. 21 Richard Harris was 11th. We didn't see much from further down the field because we couldn't take our eyes off that lead battle. Darren Butler 12th ahead of Lyndon Arnold and Henry Littlejohn, with Ollie Kibblewhite, number 66, completing the top 15. Just a couple of non-finishers there. We saw Nick Bryan go out with car problems. We lost Dan Hope with some contact off the grid as well. Zach Lower got 2 track limits penalties in that race as well. 15 seconds of penalties, dropping him down to 25th. Well, we can shortly hand down to our pit reporters to talk to some of the drivers in Parc Fermé of that brilliant Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship race.
We've got the drivers ready to talk to us. Sam down in the pit lane.
What a fantastic race. I know this man in first place is going to be absolutely ecstatic about this. I know he's been wanting a podium, but I bet he didn't think he'd win, but goodness, he's going to be overjoyed. Let's grab a word. Ed, I know how much that means to you. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks so much. Yeah, that was hard.
It looked a lot of fun though.
Oh, it was mega. I tell you what, this year everyone's closed up so much and there's such tight racing, but like you can be side by side and actually trust each other, which is a lot nicer. I've never finished Silverstone, right? So this is a redemption for me. First time finishing in first place, so I'm stoked. Yeah, I'm really happy.
Well, congratulations. I'll let you shortly have a word with Alan and then move up to the podiums. I'll grab a word with them. Thank you, Alan. Just having a hug. Congratulations, Ben. That looked like quite a lot of fun out there, but also quite hard work.
It was quite hard work. To be honest, I was very relieved when I saw the last lap board and the checkered flag. I've got a bit of food poisoning, so I was very, very relieved when we came into the pits then. Congrats to Ed, obviously, and to Toby. It was hard. It's just the toe was so strong. I just thought I'd be able to pull away, and each time just reeled back in. So it is what it is. On to the next one.
When we saw Tom come from like 5th to 2nd or 1st, I mean, it was, you could see how strong it was.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just pleased to be able to stay up at the front, and I think I was there based on pace rather than in the toe, which is good. So yeah, lots to work on for tomorrow. So yeah, look forward to it.
Well, congratulations. and we will move through and speak to Toby. Toby, congratulations on the third place. That looked, I was just saying to Ben and Ed, it looked like quite a lot of fun you were having out there.
It was non-stop. That was like really hard work. But yeah, no, brilliant race. Really, really good race.
And the guys were saying the toe is so strong here.
It's just timing it right. I was leading until the penultimate lap, and that's not where you want to be. So, but I mean, fair play to Ed. He did super well to get up from where he was. So, and he didn't crash into anyone, which is almost a first, I think.
Sorry, I always get crashed into.
Well,
no, it's good. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. Well, there you go. You've heard from our top three. We'll hand back to you guys in the commentary box.
Quick word with you, if you don't mind. I mean, it's a typical K1 race. Of course, no one knows how it's going to.
Okay, so one car is being recovered there. Dan Hope, a bit of a suspension damage following that contact off the grid. That will hopefully be repaired for race 2 tomorrow for the Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship. But next up is something new to us here on BARC TV for the 2023 season, the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. These are the single-seater stars of tomorrow. These young racers taking part in their identical Tatus T421 chassis. We normally see this series supporting the British Touring Car Championship, but they've got an away day, if you like, here on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Big opportunity for them here today. Earlier in the day, our ace reporter Ian Waterhouse down in the paddock caught up with a few of the drivers.
Hello everybody, welcome down to the assembly area. I hope you are as excited as I am for this one. British F4 Race 1 about to get underway. You're sorry, mate? I jolted the camera when I... no worries.
There's three happy drivers down there, and others nice to hear from Ed Conley and from Ben Timmons, and also from Tony Ballard as well.
And guess what, Matt? I never make it onto the grid for a British F4 race, ever. And to that again, the car's not even here yet. And that must be that they are the headline act this weekend.
You'll not be watching around the podium, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'll probably still wait for start the podium from the previous race, such as the timetable for British Touring Car Championship meetings. But today, I'm down on the grid with reserves.
But equally at this point, there's normally an hour break, and I go and have that.
Hello everybody, welcome down to the assembly area. As you can hear, it's almost time to get underway for the first British F4 race of the day, and it is going to be a crack. If you like close, exciting racing, then this is for you. 18 different finishes on the podium this season. That's quite remarkable. Somebody who's been on the podium quite a lot this season is this man. 5 podiums for Will McIntyre. I wonder if we can jump in and have a quick word with him. Of course, a race winner as well this season. He's had 3 second places, had a 3rd as well. Can he add to that tally? He starts on pole position. As you can see, he's just getting himself strapped in there nice and safe. We'll have a word with him. There you go, nice and tight. Let's jump in, shall we, Will? You've got a great opportunity to convert here and get your 2nd win of the season. How are you feeling ahead of this?
Yeah, pretty confident. I think consistency's been my strong point all season, and race pace has definitely been something I've been really good at. So yeah, if I need to get a good position in quali, and yeah, I can easily convert it, I think.
It's quite a nice circuit, Silverstone, big, wide and fast. Does that suit your style?
Yeah, I think definitely the nature of the track does suit how I like the car set up and everything. So I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see really. I think the James and the Vortex have been really fast all year, so we just have to wait and see, I guess.
Awesome, well, best of luck, mate. Thanks for talking to us. Might see him after the race, of course. Lots coming up. James Higgins over here. Last time out, I had the honour of winning the 250th British F4 race. A certain Lando Norris got the first ever one. I wonder if we can have a quick word with James. The engine's going, it is quite loud. James, well, thank you. How nice is that? Of course, winning last time out, he had the honour of the 250th race win in British F4. It's only following in the footsteps of Lando Norris. What can you do here in race 1?
I think it's just about solid points, really. It's race 1, it's not the end of the weekend, so we're starting 2nd. We've got Will alongside, so it'll be fast, but yeah, just looking to keep the nose clean and get a good result.
It's a little bit cooler than we thought, isn't it? We thought it was going to be a little bit warmer. It's not going to have too much of an impact though, is it?
No, the car's good in all conditions, so we'll see.
Fantastic. Best of luck, James. Thanks for talking to us. Really do appreciate it. So hopefully we've got a little bit more time. Let's just move down, shall we? We've got Josh Irfan here as well, a rookie this season. Let's just have a quick chat with him. Josh, cracking qualifying, starting in third. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really excited for this race, so see how it goes.
It's going to be an exciting race. Silverstone, we know it's fast, it's big, it's wide. Does that suit your style?
Yeah, of course, that's why I've qualified towards the front, so yeah, I can keep the same pace and keep going with these boys.
So, man, Josh, best of luck. Thanks for talking to us. Really, really appreciate it. All right, almost time to go. It's so loud down here. I've got to be honest, I can barely hear what Josh was saying, but a lot of excitement coming up. It's the British F4 Race 1 here at Silverstone on the GP, about to get underway. Dave, over to you.
Okay, cars moving on to the grid then, ready for the first of 3 races this weekend for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. The UK's top single-seater series, the first step on both the FIA single-seater pyramid and a driver's journey to the very top of the sport. Of course, the first ever race winner in this category and a former champion back in 2015 was somebody called Lando Norris, so that's something to aspire to for these young racers, certainly. We'll have a look at the grid then for our first of 3 races this weekend, and it's number 5, Will McIntyre for the High-Tech Pulse 8 team, based here at Silverstone, the former junior saloon car champion and Ginetta junior racer, who will start on the pole. Alongside him will be number 18 of James Higgins, driving for the Fortec Motorsport team, some of the top teams in single-seater racing represented in this championship, these young racers. Josh Irfan will be on row 2 in car number 12 for the Rodin Carlin team, alongside number 4 Jimmy Pishik, the Australian, for High-Tech Pulse 8. Row 3, number 87, Deegan Fairclough, the winner of the Racing Star Scholarship at the start of this season. He drives for JHR Developments, and alongside him 49 of Daniel Ginchard in the distinctive red, yellow and black of Chris Dittman Racing. The 4th row of the grid, number 23 Gustav Jonsson from Sweden, and Akil Alibay, the South African, for Virtuosi Racing. Gustav Jonsson racing for Chris Dittman Racing. On row 5, the championship leader by just a couple of points, Louis Sharp, down on row 5 in the Rodin Carlin car, alongside number 7 Gabriel Stilp, one of the top rookies in the field. It's Josh Irfan, in fact, who's the top rookie cup driver on the grid. Gabriel Stilp for High-Tech starts on row 5 of the grid. Row 6 will be number 2 Noah Lizzle and number 17 Pat Heisenroder, the 2 Australians. Row 7, number 6 Kanato Lee from Japan, and number 55 the man from India, Dion Gowda. Row 8, number 29 Mika Abrahams, another South African, alongside Douwe Dideka, the Belgian driver. Row 9, 72 Sonny Smith, recently scored his maiden win at Alton Park, starts alongside number 78 of Jack Sherwood. The 10th row, Kai Darianani and Isaac Barashi will complete the 10 cars on the grid, and there's one of the cars starting from the pit lane. Jaden Pariats, the Indian driver for Finsis by Argenti, he starts from the pit lane. An accumulation of licence points means he is penalised by starting from the pits. This will be a 20-minute race. This is going to be an absolutely frantic one. The championship recently celebrated its 250th race, the ROKiT F4 British Championship, and James Higgins had the honour of winning the 250th race at Alton Park. They've had 9 different winners from 14 events so far this year in this championship, showing just how evenly matched these cars are. Louis Sharp, the New Zealander it is, who leads the point standings coming into this round by just a couple of points ahead of Will McIntyre, by 5 points to be precise. 3rd in the points is Dion Gowda, the man from India. The Rookie Cup, meanwhile, points are led by Gustav Jonsson, the Swede, ahead of Gabriel Stilp and Douwe Dideka, the Belgian driver for Virtuosi Racing. The Teams Championship is headed by Rodin Carlin, ahead of High-Tech Pulse 8, who are based here at Silverstone, and the famous Fortec Motorsport team completing the top 3 in the team standings. It is on pole position, and is 2nd in the championship, Will McIntyre, the 15-year-old from Wroxham in Norfolk. Plenty of silverware last season in the Ginetta Junior Sports Car Championship, taking 6 race victories and the rookies title there. He starts alongside the number number 18 of James Higgins, looking for his latest victory. James Higgins, another ex-Ginetta junior racer, did the final 2 events of last year in these little Tatus single-seaters, powered by 1.4 litre Abarth engines, the Italian-built machines. Control tyres by Pirelli. This is their 6th meeting of the season here on the Silverstone GP circuit. As we said, they normally support the British Touring Car Championship with plenty of exposure through there. These young racers, all of them, I think, are aged 18 or younger. This is the first step up from karting. I think Kai Darianani is the oldest man on the grid, just 18 years of age, in the number 8 car for Virtuosi Racing. So this will be a 20-minute race. It's going to be very close indeed. It's one of the premier single-seater categories in British motorsport. Moving to line then, Will McIntyre, the black and white car with the red trim on the right of the picture, taking the pole. James Higgins in the orange and white car on the left as we look at it. Second row is Josh Irfan, the black car with the red and blue trim. And James Pizik in silver and black with a bit of red trim. Those are the leading colours to look out for. Watch for Deegan Fairclough in the black number 87 car on the third row as well. Last couple of cars pulling into line at the back. Don't forget we've got one car starting from the pit lane as well, the number 77 of Jayden Parayet, after a penalty. Standing starts. Waiting for the rest rise, these 1.4 litre Abarth engines. 5-second board is held aloft. Red lights are on. We've got a yellow flag. Got a yellow flag on the grid. Can't see from my angle which car has a problem there. So it looks like the start has been delayed. The clock is running. Let's wait to see if I can see which car is in trouble.
Is continuing here, unfortunately, in a downward direction for the number 6 machine, so he needs to be pushed away. As I said, the one towards the back side of Barashi will possibly need to be pushed off the grid.
We think it's a couple of cars in problems. The one at the back of the grid, number 26, Isaac Barashi, we think has an issue there. That's the Finsis by Argenti run car. Isaac Barashi made his debut towards the end of last season here at Silverstone. And possibly Kanato Lee with a problem as well, the Japanese driver for the high-tech GP team. The 2021 IAME Euro Series Junior X30 karting champion. Okay, so Kanato Lee and we think Isaac Barashi are in trouble down there, so yes, we see a car being wheeled away. Start being delayed, although the clock is still running, I can tell you, which is unusual because the race didn't actually start. We'll wait and see what's going to happen there. So a delay to the start of our ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. Yes, the timing screen has now reset itself, thanks to TSL timing for our timekeeping services this weekend. Thanks to all our camera crews out there capturing the action this weekend as well. We must give a mention to Danny, one of our cameramen, who turned up bright and early here at Silverstone, ready to film the action. Unfortunately, he turned up last Saturday. Yep, he got the wrong week. We promised we'd mention it, Danny. You won't make that mistake again, I'm sure. We bought him a diary, don't worry. Okay, then waiting to see what's going to happen here, whether the stalled cars will be got going in. Thanks for all your comments on the YouTube feed. Yes, one driver who is missing this weekend is Aidan Neats. Sadly, he's withdrawn.
it's not pushy. The member of the team that's at the back is incredibly physically strong, because he's actually wearing a big backpack as well as pushing the car up the pit lane. And
it's pretty warm here at Silverstone. You can see the heat haze down there on the grid as we get ready to get underway with attempt 2 for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. First step on the FIA single-seater pyramid for these young racers. It is Louis Sharp who leads the championship, the New Zealander coming into this weekend. Missed the first round in 2022 because he wasn't yet old enough. He wasn't yet 15 to be able to race. Then he ripped through the opposition to take 4th place, including a couple of wins last year, driving for the Rodin Carlin team. Of course, Carlin, one of the most famous names in single-seater racing over the last few years. They made their debut in British Formula 3 as far back as 1997. They've passed through, racers have passed through their hands include Lando Norris, who we mentioned, George Russell, Kevin Magnussen, Carlos Sainz, among others. They're based down in Surrey. Second in the championship is Will McIntyre. Then we've got Dion Gowda, another of the Carlin racers, the 15-year-old from India, competed in karting across Asia before moving to the UK. Kanato Lee is 4th in the points. We'll wait to see if he takes the restart here. Then Aidan Neates, who's not here this weekend, completing the top 5, son of Andy Neates, the ex-British touring car racer. Noah Lyle is 6th in the points. Apologies if I mispronounced his name earlier on. Noah had his first year in single-seaters last year, racing in Spanish F4 and British F4 in the rookie category. That's led by Gustav Jonsson, the Swede, for Chris Dittman Racing this year. There's the Chris Dittman racing car. That's Jack Sherwood's version, the red, yellow and black livery. Very familiar from Chris's racing days in the likes of the F3 Cup. So they go round for another green flag lap. Some heat into their Pirelli tyres, and we will try again. The delay there with those couple of stalled cars. Hopefully they've been able to get going again. Yes, the 26 has. That's Isaac Barashi in the Finsis car. Finsis by Argenti, the team founded by another familiar name from the touring car support package, Michael Meadows, the former Porsche Carrera Cup champion. Explains the blue and black livery. That's the colours he used to run his Porsches in. He's got Isaac Barashi, Pat Buitzenrode from Sydney, and Jaden Harriant, who should be starting in the pits. Waiting for them to make their way up to the grid then. The driver to watch out for Chris Dittman Racing is Daniel Ginchard, former double kart championship winner, was runner-up in the Rookie Cup last season and overall win at Alton Park. I think he comes from the Ginchard family, famous for short oval racing. Several branches of that family have competed in the likes of Formula 2 stock car racing very successfully, I remember, over the years. To the grid they come then. Will be Will McIntyre in pole position, star of the Ginetta Junior Championship in the past. James Higgins will start alongside him. Look out for Deegan Fairclough as well, another Ginetta Junior star. Remember him in the Fiesta Juniors as well. Big battles with Jensen Brickley, who's now in TCR UK. Last couple of cars just moving into line at the back of the grid outside my commentary position. Okay, getting ready for take 2 then, with the first race for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. Over the full 20-minute distance, because the initial staging didn't get underway at all before a couple of stalled cars forced an aborted start. Green flag now waves at the back of the grid. Looks like everybody is ready. Revs rise, waiting for the red lights to come on, and when they go out, we will be underway. Here we go. Our first British F4 race of the weekend. Down towards Copse Corner they go. It's a good start by James Higgins on the inside. We'll see who's leading as they come into sight at Beckett's. Looks like everybody has got away well. We wait to see who's going to get the best run down towards the Beckett's complex. It's very close indeed. They're side by side on the run into it. Who's going to come out of this with the lead? They're absolutely side by side. It looks like it's possibly one of our rookies with the yellow number plate. I think that's Gustav Jonsson who's possibly come through into the lead. Somebody going off there on the outside. That's from the back of the grid, number 14 car of Akil Alibay, the South African driver. But it looks like it is possibly Jonsson, is it, who's leading? No, it's the number 12 of Josh Irfan, in fact, who has got the lead. My apologies there. So Josh Irfan it is who leads for the Rodin Carlin team. Everybody else making their way through behind. So Josh Irfan it is who leads the way. First of our Rookie Cup drivers leads the field overall. Starting to sort themselves out behind. We've got more cars running wide at the club complex. It is Irfan who leads the way. We'll establish the order as best we can as they come through. Plenty of dodging about there in the pack. Towards the right-hander at Village, a little lock up there from our second place man, the number 5 of Will McIntyre, our pole sitter in this race. Looks like it is Jimmy Pittick who is tucked in behind in the number 4. There's Gustav Jonsson making a move on the number 2 of Noah Lyle, a little further in the pack. Start to sort themselves out around the opening lap of this 20-minute race. It is Josh Irfan who holds his lead ahead of Will McIntyre. Looks like it's Pittick up there in third place, the Australian. He's had a relatively quiet season so far, down in 7th place in the championship. One of a few Antipodean drivers in this series, including, of course, New Zealander Louis Sharp, who leads the points going into this weekend. He qualified down in 9th place. We'll see if he's made up any ground as they come over the line. It's Irfan who leads from McIntyre, Pittick, Deegan Fairclough in 4th place. James Higgins is down to 5th, but it's Ginchard in 6th position, Lyle 7th, Jonsson 8th, and 2nd of the rookies. 9th is Pat Huitzenroder, and rounding out the top 10 is Abrahams. So the first lap is completed, then the leaders head out towards the Beckett's complex for the second time. A bit of a slide there for Gustav Jonsson. They're calling right on the edge through their spectacular sequence of corners. Number 29 there coming through is Mika Abrahams, the South African, just at the bottom reaches of the top 10. But it is Irfan who leads, still ahead of McIntyre and Pittick in 3rd place. So British 1-2 at the moment. Deegan Fairclough trying to challenge for a podium in there as well. Side by side, trying to get around the outside there. Number 78 of Jack Sherwood for Chris Dickman Racing. It's Irfan who led by just under half a second at the end of the opening lap. Now trying to pull away just a little. Sherfan riding for the Rodin Carling team in the number 12 car. Graduated to single seats after multiple karting championship and also in the Super 1 British Esports Championship as well. A lot of these drivers very successful sim racers. As number 87, the black car, that's Deegan Fairclough. Plenty of exploits in junior saloon racing with the Fiesta Juniors and the Junior Saloon Car Championship in the Citroen Saxos. 29 there of Mika Abrahams coming under fire. I think that's Dion Gowda for Rodin Carlin behind in the number 55 car, the 15-year-old from India. Did our cars installed at the start join in? Yes, Kanato Lay is at the back of the field. He must have started from the pit lane. I don't think we've got Isaac Barashi out there after his earlier issues, though. Coming through to complete lap number 2 of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Over the line they go. It is Irfan who still leads from McIntyre. He's increased his lead to 0.89 of a second now as they go over the line. Pittick in 3rd place, then Deegan Fairclough is 4th, James Higgins in 5th position. So no change in the order at the front of the field this time through. As the number 29 is Mika Abrahams, the white and red car, down in 10th position. Leading rookie is still our overall leader, Josh Irfan. Second rookie is Gustav Jonsson. 3rd is David Decker, down in 14th place overall. 72 of Sonny Smith, winner at Alton Park last time out, lost a couple of places on that previous lap. So 5 rounds of the championship have been held so far this year. Louis Sharp had a couple of wins at Donington Park first time out. Noah Lyle had a win there as well. Wins for Kanato Lay and for James Higgins in the second meeting at Brands Hatch Indy. Been to Snetterton, Thruxton and Alton Park as well. Towards the right-hander at Abbey, and Josh Irfan is really increasing his lead here. Starting to get a little more spaced out now, these Italian-built Tatuus single-seaters with their Abarth 1.4 engines. There's the number 2 car, that's Noah Lyle, the black car with the yellow flashes. He's going under a lot of pressure from Gustav Jonsson, the number 23 for Chris Dittman Racing. Plenty of karting experience, this is his first year in single-seaters. There is the number 2 of Lyle. It's the battle for 7th position overall between these two into Brooklands. Josh Irfan with the fastest lap of the race so far. He led by 0.89 of a second at the conclusion of the previous lap as they head through to complete lap number 3. It's up to just over a second now. Irfan, McIntyre, Pischik still your top 3 positions. They head into Copse Corner. There's Deegan Fairclough just lurking behind them, looking for a chance to get into a podium position. James Higgins is next, and then it is Daniel Ginchard in the number 49. Extremely talented kart racer, looking to move up the points from his current 11th position. Sounded like we had a car come down the pit lane. That was Isaac Barashi, so he was running out there. The number 26 car has just pulled into the pits at the back of the field. Kanato Lay has done the fastest lap of the race, recovering after his delay earlier on. The Japanese driver down in 19th place at the moment. Watch for him coming through the field. He's towards the back of this big group heading through Stowe Corner. That's the number 6 car for the High-Tech Pulse 8 team. There he is at the back of the lineup, battling away with the number 77 car there of Jaden Parriott, the Indian driver for Finsis by Argenti. And he started from the pit lane after a penalty for accumulating licence points for various misdemeanours over the course of the season, unfortunately. Oh, and running wide there, that's Kanato Lay, I think, making a bit of a mistake at Club Corner. Keep an eye on the Japanese driver trying to move his way through the field. He's 4th in the points at the moment. He's had a couple of wins, one at Brands Hatch and one at Alton Park. Would love a 3rd win this weekend. Tyre smoke there as they head through Village. Somebody's had... in fact, nearly everybody's having a lock up through there. I wonder if there's a bit of fluid been dropped there, actually, because a few of them seem to be losing grip. Maybe it's the warm conditions. Just over 12 minutes of this race to go. Great racing so far in Silverstone. Somebody going off wide there. That was one of the JHR cars. Got it gathered up again. It's the number 77. No, it's one of the Finsis cars, isn't it? It's Jaden Parriott who was battling with Kanato Lay. Just ran wide there, coming out of the loop into entry. He's all over the place, the 77. Meantime, here are the leaders. Still Josh Irfan from McIntyre in 2nd place, Pischik in 3rd, then Deegan Fairclough. The lead gap is 1.1 seconds now, and less than a second, covering 2nd, 3rd and 4th, with James Higgins trying to close in. He did the best first sector of everyone in that last lap. And everybody in the top 10 bar the leader in 10th place, Mika Abrahams, did a personal best lap, so things getting quicker as the race goes on. Are they reeling in? Josh Irfan at the front of the field. It's 5 cars, line astern for 2nd. McIntyre, Pischik, Fairclough, Higgins, and on the back of them is Ginchard. 49, Daniel Ginchard, looking for his first win in the category. Then there's a small gap back to Noah Lyle, who's next in the order in the blue and yellow Rodin Carlin car. He's got Gustav Jonsson on his tail, the 2nd of the rookies. Then Whitsenroder and Abrahams round out the top 10. Little lock up there from, I think that was McIntyre going into Club in 2nd place. They're really pushing these cars to the limit around the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. It's wonderful to see these young racers getting the chance to race at the home of British motorsport on the Grand Prix circuits. Side by side here, that's Noah Lyle battling it out with the number 23 of Gustav Jonsson. They're having a terrific fight for 7th place. Here they come through Farm and Village. There's the 49 car ahead of them. That's Daniel Ginchard, the next man there, trying to catch as Lyle runs a little bit wide, coming through out of Village into the loop. Who's that dodging about on their tails. That's Hitzenroder and Abrahams closing up on them as well. Down the Wellington Straight they go, under the bridge. This is the battle for second place. Meanwhile, again a lock up there from Will McIntyre. He's pushing really hard in that second, but he's not catching Josh Irfan. There's the 26 car. That's Isaac Barashi in the Argenti pit area. Saw him in problems early on. He's one of the cars that stalled on the grid and then had further problems. Lead gap has opened up to just under 1.5 seconds now. Josh Irfan pulling away on McIntyre, Pizik, Fairclough, Higgins, then Ginchard. 5 of them together, covered by less than 2 seconds for second down to 6th position. Then a gap back of about 4 seconds to Noah Lyle, next in the order in the number 2. See, the lead gap has increased, and it's the rookie cup racer Josh Irfan who has the lead. He's only in 4th place in the rookie points. You can recognise the rookies by the yellow number plates on the cars. Next group are all main class drivers with the white numbers, and there's Gustav Jonsson dodging about, trying to defend. I think it's the 55, sorry, of Dion Gouda, who's currently 3rd in the points, so he won't be too happy to be down outside the top 10 at the moment. There's a replay of that battling down the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. Look at them dodging about like they're still in their go-karts. Noah Lyle somehow managing to hold off Gustav Jonsson, but only just. They are loving every second of this, showing their skills and daring from their karting experience, some of them from Ginetta Juniors. Noah Lyle runs a little bit wide there in the background. 8 minutes of this race still to go for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. He does come down into the left-hander at Brooklands, and Deegan Fairclough trying to get a run on James Pizik there for that 3rd place. The high-tech car under fire from the JHR Developments car. Around this long double right-hander at Luffield, then out towards Woodcote to complete another lap. Over the line, the lead gap is still 1.5 seconds, so Irfan increasing his lead, but only very, very slightly each time. Jimmy Pizik still there in 3rd place for the high-tech Pulse 8 team, based here at Silverstone, founded by former karting champion Oliver Oakes. Jimmy Pizik, the man from Adelaide, there in 3rd place, previously racing his national Formula 4 championship in Australia. There's a battle further back. This is Kanato Lay. We haven't seen him make a huge amount of progress up the order. Got ahead there of the number 8 car, that is. That's Kai Darianani, one of the elder statesmen of the grid. It seems difficult saying that when he's only 18. We head down into Stowe Corner. 6.5 minutes to go. Josh Irfan looking reasonably safe out in front at the moment. Josh Irfan only 17th in the overall point standings at the moment, so looking for his first win of the season. He's had 1 podium this season. That was in round 14 at Alton Park last time out. Leads Will McIntyre, double winner at Thruxton earlier this season. See some of the midfielders come through. There's the 77 car, that's Jaden Pariat towards the tail end of the field. Fastest lap being recorded by Gabriel Stilp. Now he's at the tail of the pack at the moment, but he's been into the pits with a problem. He's set a 2:02.688 on his recovery. 7 laps completed by the leaders. The lead gap is still 1.5 seconds. It's getting very close indeed here between 1 or 2 of the cars in the midfield. Deegan Fairclough, meanwhile, trying to close in on James Pizik for 3rd place. And a bit wide there coming out of Cops Corner up towards Maggots. James Higgins is in his wheel tracks there. This is the battle for 2nd. There's our leader. We haven't seen too much of Josh Irfan so far, the Rodin Carlin man out in front looking for his maiden win. It's McIntyre, Pizic, Fairclough and Higgins fighting for second place, with Daniel Ginchard not far behind them. There's Ginchard, the red and yellow car. And they get back to Noah Lyle, who has dropped Gustav Jonsson slightly by 0.8 of a second now. Patrick Huitzenroder, another Australian, and Mika Abrahams rounding out the top 10. So there haven't been any major changes in the top 10 positions in this race. Further back at just outside the top 10, the 55 of Dion Gouda. Third in the points coming into this race, 12 points off Will McIntyre, so he'll want improvement here. And behind him is the championship leader, Louis Sharp. So it's some of the lesser lights showing towards the front of the field at the moment. This is going to benefit Will McIntyre, because Sharp and Gouda, the two men around him in the championship, outside the top 10. And Kanato Lay, who's fourth in the points, had those problems at the start. He's down in 17th place. He's just not past Darianani in the number 8 car, as we saw. Rounding out the top 5 in the points is James Higgins, who's in 5th position. He's battling with Deegan Fairclough there as they come through the loop. A couple of laps to go, I would guess, in this first of 3 races this weekend for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. Still needs 5 cars line astern for second, but they can't seem to dislodge anyone from their position. Still Josh Irfan leads the way. Fourth in the rookie point team. As the Rookie Cup has a separate championship, 6 drivers have contested that this season. Over the line they go once again. The lead gap, if anything, has come down slightly, because Will McIntyre has done a personal best of 2:03.282, and now the lead gap is 1.36 seconds. Pizic still third, a further 0.7 back. It's Fairclough, Higgins, Ginchard. Lyle is still further back, nearly 4.5 seconds off Ginchard. Black and white flag being shown to the number 28 of David De Decker for exceeding track limits. Looks like another car, that's Sonny Smith. Yeah, he's got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. So Sonny Smith with a 5-second penalty. He's further down the order in about 17th overall. Leaders through Stowe Corner. See the comparison there between Will McIntyre and James Pizic, the 2 high-tech teammates. Vale and Club. Closing stage is now just over 2 minutes to go in this ROKiT F4 British Championship race. Leaders head through towards Abbey. It's the midfield battle, and once again that is Kanato Lay closing up. I think that's the number 28 of David De Decker that he's got in his sights there. The Belgian, yes, there he is in the Virtuosi racing car. Virtuosi team with 3 cars in this race: Kai Darianani, Akil Alipay and De Decker, who's been racing karts since he was 8 at the famous Genk venue in Belgium, competing in the OK Juniors Karting World Championship before graduating to single-seaters. Looks like it will be last lap this time. Over the line go the leaders, and the gap is down to less than a second now, so Will McIntyre is pushing as hard as he can. He's taking 0.4 of a second out of our leader, Josh Irfan, on that last lap. Don't think it's quite going to be enough to overtake him for the lead, though. This is looking good for Josh Irfan. Had 1 podium this year in the previous round at Alton Park with a 2nd place. Staying clear of Will McIntyre and James Pizic, his teammate, in 3rd place. Fairclough in 4th. Down the hanger straight they come for the last time towards Stowe Corner. Can they close up on him, or is one of our rookies going to take the opening win of the weekend? Deegan Fairclough is getting closer to Jimmy Pizic for 3rd position. James Higgins in 5th. Daniel Ginchard in 6th position, and Noah Lyle 7th. 2nd of the rookies is Jonsson. 3rd is De Decker, and further back in the order, the other rookies hitting problems. Gabriel Stubbs 2nd in the rookies points championship. Right, Fairclough may have a penalty as well. We're just hearing race control. Yes, Deegan Fairclough's going to get a 5-second penalty, unfortunately, for exceeding track limits. couple of other black and white flags have gone out as well. The 29 car, that is Mika Abrahams. Josh Irfan looks like he is going to hold off Will McIntyre. Made a great start, Josh Irfan, from the second row of the grid to take up the lead. Down towards Brooklands for the final time. McIntyre has closed the gap, but I don't think he's going to get close enough through these last couple of corners. A little bit of a lock up there from the leader through the left-hander at Brooklands, then the double right at Luffield. McIntyre closing right up, but I think it's just going to be too late for him. It will be a pretty close finish, but Josh Irfan is heading for his first victory in the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. Checkered flag goes out and Irfan wins it. Irfan wins it by just under half a second from Will McIntyre. Third goes to James Pissick, then Higgins, Ginchard, Fairclough, penalised down to 6th position for exceeding track limits, unfortunately for him. Then it's Lyle, Jonsson, Hitzenrode and Abrahams rounding out the top 10. It's like 20 of the 21 starters will go the distance, but it's Josh Irfan who takes the win for the Rodin Carlin team. His first win in the championship. It's going to move him up the points table towards the top 10. Now, where did our championship leader come in? Louis Sharp, only 12th for the New Zealander. Not the result he was looking for. Dion Gouda was only 11th as well. With Kanato Lee having problems, only finishing in 15th place. That's going to be the big winner from that one, will be Will McIntyre in 2nd place, and that's going to move him up towards the championship lead. Of course, the points will be worked out over the course of the weekend, and we'll update you as and when we can, with 3 races taking place this weekend. But it's Koskan and Josh Irfan who takes the win in race number 1 for the ROKiT F4 British Championship by 0.4 of a second ahead of Will McIntyre. His teammate James Pissick completing the podium, then James Higgins for Fortec Motorsport in 4th. Daniel Ginchard was 5th ahead of Deegan Fairclough with that 5-second penalty, then Noah Lyle, Gustav Jonsson 2nd of the rookies, then Patrick Huitzenrode, the Australian for the Fences by Argenti team. Mika Abrahams completing the top 10 overall ahead of Dion Gouda and Louis Sharp, the championship contenders, then Jack Sherwood. Akil Alibai was next, then Kanato Lay making it up to 15th after his early problems, then Dava De Decker. Next home was the number 8 of Kai Darianani, then it's number 77, which is Jaden Pariat. Sonny Smith, after a penalty, finished 19th, and Gabriel Stilp completing the finishers. One non-finisher there, Isaac Barashi, retiring into the pits after a couple of laps. Let's head down to Ian Waterhouse in the pits to talk to our podium finishers.
Hello everybody, welcome down. Look at that, that is Josh Irfan. He is absolutely delighted. Look at that, the rookie takes the win as well. Just watch this embrace here, look at that. What does it mean to get the win? It means absolutely everything, doesn't it? Oh my word, what a great race that was indeed as well. He's just got to go get Wade, then we are going to go and grab a word with him as well. In fact, I wonder if we can quickly jump in as well. We're not allowed to touch the cars. He's just got to put his steering wheel on. We'll accompany him to go get Wade as well, but let's have a quick chat with Josh Irfan, your race winner. He's a rookie as well. He's going to be absolutely delighted with this one. It's so loud down here as well. Josh, come on, look at that smile. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels fucking awesome.
It was a magnificent drive. You got some incredible talent around you, but you managed to hold them off.
Yeah, they caught me last lap, but I consistently went away. Start was awesome, and from that point on, I just went.
So look, you've got to go get yourself Wade. Congratulations. We're going to grab Jimmy Physique over here as well. He's got to go get Wade too. He finished in 3rd place. Of course, we caught up with Will as well. He just chat to Alan Hyde. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with him now. He's going to come around. Jimmy, how was that out there? Congratulations getting on the podium.
Yeah, thank you. It was good. I got the jump off the start. Yeah, I guess it was just managing tyres throughout the whole race. It's sort of the dirty air was worse than I was going to expect. So, I mean, yeah, it was a good race all in all. Happy to get, I guess, a 3 and a 2 for the team.
It's quite a learning curve out there, of course. We've got a couple more races still to come over the course of the weekend. What have you learned from here that you're going to bring into the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, we're just managing tyres, I think, because the tyres do drop off a fair bit at this track because it's such a high-speed track. You do have to manage your tyres a bit, so bringing that into the next couple of races. We've got the reverse grid and race 3 where I'm starting pole position, so what can I say? Let's go for it.
Let's rock and roll. There you go. Go get yourself away. Congratulations. Let's go see if we can grab Will over here as well. We spoke to him a little bit earlier, didn't we? I wonder if we can, we'll just jump over, grab Will McIntyre if we can. He's finished in second place. They did start on pole position. He's just chatting to one of his teammates as well. Will, how was it out there?
It was okay. I think, I don't know what happened at the start, but I mean, whatever it is, destroyed my clutch, and I don't think I got that caused me to get a really rubbish getaway. But you know, towards the end, I know I got hit by I think Deegan, but yeah, which caused me a bit of damage, which hindered my pace about that.
Still more opportunities to come this weekend. You still get quite a lot out of it though, right?
Yeah, I think obviously starting P3 for race 3, so it's all good.
Well, thanks for talking to us. There you go, finished in second place. I'm going to hand back to Dave. I think we might even be able to bring you the podium, sorry, but of course, don't forget, we've got that 2-hour British endurance race coming up very soon. Dave, back to you.
Thank you very much indeed, well done. So I'll tell you what I'll do, I'm going to make my way up from Park Fairway. Podium is coming next.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, nice to hear from Race Win. He's so happy, wasn't he? He sounded so happy in his voice there, Johnny.
He is, he's being hugged and cuddled and is absolutely beside himself. He is.
Means so much, doesn't it, when they take their first win in a championship like this. So we'll hear from the drivers on the podium in terms of getting them up onto the first, second and first set that we have here at Silverstone, high up above the pit lane of the podium. So if you are in the grandstand opposite, down there somewhere in the pit lane, you'll be able to see the podium taking place very shortly indeed. 3 races still to come.
Okay, then getting ready for our next race. It is our longest race today. Apologies for any I have heard just a few moments ago, by the way. But we're almost ready to get underway with our next race, which is the 2-hour race for the British Endurance Championship. First of a pair of 2-hour races this weekend. We'll see the Britcar Trophy category in action tomorrow. We'll take a look at the grid in just a moment. We recently saw, of course, the British Endurance Championship in action at Alton Park, where it was a dominant victory for the second race in a row for Peter Erscheg and Marcus Clutton in their Audi R8 GT3. A variety of classes of GT and touring cars out in this championship. Class A for the big GT3 cars, got 2 of those out in this one. Class B is for the Challenge spec cars. We've got a little variety of 4 cars in that category, a pair of Lamborghinis, a Ferrari and a Solution F TC12. We'll bring you more info on that as soon as we have it. Class C, we've got a pair of Porsches and an Audi S3 touring car. Well, it was scheduled to be an Audi S3. I think they've changed to a VW. We'll get visual confirmation on that in a moment. It's an ex-British touring car machine for the Team Hard drivers. Class D is for GT4 cars, and we've got Class E for the TCR touring cars. Class F is just 1 entry in there, the Jaguar F-Type of the Thompson family, and Class G for Ginetta, the G55 Super Cup cars. So that's what we're going to be seeing out next. 2 more races to go. After that's for our Caterham categories, the 270Rs and the 310R Caterhams. Chris Hutchinson will be rejoining us for those races. But for now we have a 2-hour race, 2 mandatory pit stops for each car, and each car is shared by 2 drivers. So there'll be pit stops and driver changes, a proper endurance race here on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. We'll have a look at the grid then in a second for this British Endurance Championship race, and it is once again the pre-race favourites Peter Erscheg and Marcus Clutton in the PB Racing Audi R8 GT3 who are on pole. Peter Erscheg will start that car, and alongside them is the Chameleon, aka the Aston Martin Vulcan. We'll see the livery on that car in a few moments' time. That's started by Gleb Stepanovs from Latvia. Stephen Tompkins will share. On their way to the grid now, it's the Chameleon that's actually leading them out. Second row of the grid, the current points leaders, the Porsche 991 of Brad Thurston and Daryl De Leon, the man from the Philippines. Brad Thurston starts. Alongside them will be number 26, that's Johnny Haynes and Dominic Malone in the M-Tech Lamborghini Huracan. That's the first of the Class B cars. Dominic Malone, regular BMW racer, will start that car. Row 3, we have the Cunninghams in the SG Racing Porsche. They've been a regular in British Endurance for a number of years now with their Porsche 997. That's a Class C car. Mark Cunningham starts. Peter will take over at the first pit stop. And alongside them is the experienced GT racer Mikael Mack, sharing with Canadian Keith Freezer in the Scott Sport Lamborghini Super Trofeo Evo. Keith Freezer, the regular historic racer, will start that car. The fourth row of the grid, great to see these two back, John Seal and Jamie Stanley. John Seal, veteran of Ferrari and Lamborghini racing for many years. They're in a Ferrari 488 Challenge from the RNR Performance Cars stable today, and it is John Seal who will start. Alongside him will be Sam Allpass, number 38, looking to pass all in this race. He's actually driving solo in this race. I think he's our only solo driver in the Solution F TC12. That's based on a BMW. It's a space frame car, almost similar to the Volvo S80 that we've seen Nigel Mustill racing in endurance events in the past as well, if you're familiar with that car. I can see the cars lining up now out of my window, and this really is a fantastic looking grid coming to the grid for this one. Row number 5, we've got the first of the TCR touring cars. Car number 87. Which will be started by Jonathan Beeson, showing a George Healer. That's the shared Autosport Audi RS3, won the class at Alton Park last time out. And they're alongside a car we're seeing for the first time in the championship this year, Mike McCollum, starting his KTM Crossbow GT4 for the Track Focus team, sharing with Sean Cooper. We've seen that car in the British GT Championship in the past. Then on row 6 of the grid, we've got the first of the Ginetta G55 Super Cup cars, the familiar team of Mac G Racing. Johnny McGregor, the team owner, starts the car. Josh Tomlinson will take over. And they're alongside number 21, the Venture Innovations second car on the grid, the Mercedes GT4, started by Chris Jones, sharing with Matt George. Row 7 is another of our TCR touring cars. The team that was leading the points prior to a bit of a disaster at Alton Park when the car had repeated problems, Ashley Woodman and Martin Byford. Ashley Woodman will start the EDF Motorsports Cupra Leon. And alongside then number 108, which is Amir Naran, sharing with reigning champion Tom Jackson. He was in a GT3 Mercedes last season, now driving for Breakel Racing in the Mercedes AMG GT4. Row 8 are the Thompsons in the New Barn Racing Jaguar F-Type. It's Adam Thompson who will start. Callum Thompson takes over. They start alongside number 50, the Aston Martin GT4 of MKH Racing. Peter Montague starts. Stuart Hall, the pro driver, will take over. Row 9 of the grid is the other Ginetta G55. That's started by Mark Ellman for SVG Motorsports. Owen Hizzy, very quick young Ginetta racer, will take over from him. Then we've got the number 22 Cupra TCR, the other EDF Motorsports car. Richard Avery starts and Nick Hull will take over. And the final car on the grid is the number 34. Maurice Henry starts. Paul Curran will take over. That's the Team Hard BTCC car. We believe that's not the Audi S3 that's originally listed. I think it's a VW Passat that they're going to be driving. I'll get confirmation on that in a moment. We can probably get confirmation because I think Ian, our pit reporter, is down on the grid.
TCR class F, as we described earlier, any other business really, so anyone that wants to go out racing and you can't get yourself...
Hello everybody, welcome to one of my favourite places. We're on the grid, as you can see. In fact, we're almost told to get off it, but how bad the timing is that? It's typical, isn't it? That's the problem with being live. But as you can see, what a sight of cars we've got here. Let's just quickly, very quickly, I wonder if we can grab a quick word with Glebs here. Because I'll tell you something, I almost burnt myself on this car. It's going to be a hot one, this, isn't it?
Yeah, well, humid for sure.
But you've got a bit of a fan in here. We bring the camera around just very quickly. I just want to show how small the steering wheel looks on this car. It's tiny, isn't it? We've got to go. We're being told off to get off. Sorry, guys. We are literally being told off here. Time for us to go. I'm not even joking. We are getting told off. Time for us to go. Enjoy this one. We're going to be in the pits. Dave, really sorry. Short and sweet, but back to you, mate.
And when you need to come into the pit lane, and one other thing to factor in as well, you need to be in for your 2 pit stops for a minimum of 100.
Okay, looks like the grid is being cleared down there then. And what a front row we can see. The orange and black Audi R8 GT3. Peter Erceg, who we saw so successful in his Porsche last season, sharing with British GT regular Marcus Clutton in that lovely Audi R8. It was Andrew Bentley who shared with Peter for the Alton Park victory. And alongside him we have the Chameleon, the Aston Martin Vulcan. It's previously in an orange livery, now in that Very impressive livery. We'll see as it comes around. I thought it was a snake when I first saw that car that they'd liveried it at. You can see there, liveried as a chameleon on the outside of the front row. Real mixture, real variety of cars. We've got Ginettas, TCR cars, the GT4, Mercedes and Aston Martins in there, the Jaguar F-Type at the back of the field. There it is. It is the VW Passat they're using today. That is number 34, Maurice Henry and Paul Curran, the familiar pink colours of Team Hard, the well-known touring car and GT racing team. This will be a 2-hour race with 2 mandatory pit stops for each car. The pit window opens after the first 20 minutes of racing and closes minutes to go. It's the orange and black Audi of Erceg and Clutton who leads them round. The contest for the overall win likely to be between them and the only other Class A car in the race, the Aston Martin Vulcan. We had hoped to have the opening round winners Claude Beauvais and David McDonald back out in the Blackthorn Aston Martin GT3, but unfortunately gearbox problems have prevented that car from attending today. You can also see in there the Porsches. Brad Thurston, Daryl De Leon car is that's the black and yellow Porsche, the predominantly all over yellow Porsche with the black bonnet. Mark starting, Peter will take over. Got a stunning Lamborghini out there for Dominic Malone and Johnny Haynes, also Keith Freezer and Mikael Mack sharing a Lamborghini as well. So one of those cars, I reckon the overall winner could be possibly one of the Lamborghinis if those quicker front row cars hit trouble. But there was just under a second separating PB Racing and Venture Innovations in qualifying, but they were nearly 3 seconds quicker than everyone else. Well, the Audi, of course, lapped the field at Wilton Park and at Brands Hatch in the second round of the season on the Indy circuit, though on that occasion the Aston was an early casualty and crashed out on cold tyres in the hands of Gleb Stepanovs. So it looks like we have all 19 cars out there to take the start. Just do a quick look as they come through Abbey there. Yeah, both the Lamborghinis, the 2 white cars are there. Porsches, TCR cars. There's the Jaguar F-Type, the white car with the Martini stripe. GT4 cars further down the order. Should be a good class battle between them as well. It's the Class C Porsche of Brad Thurston and Daryl De Leon that leads the points overall coming into this round, jointly with Venture Innovations Mercedes. Chris Jones and Matt George is number 21 car. I've seen Neville Jones in that car at times as well this season, but it's the car and the team that scores the points, regardless of who is driving. So there's only 1 point covering the top 3 because Ashley Woodman and Martin Byford are only a point behind in the Cupra TCR car as well. They led the championship until some problems at Alton Park. In position then, 2 by 2, ready for a start. Joint longest race of the weekend. There'll be another 2-hour race for the slightly less powerful, less rapid Britcar Trophy cars tomorrow. What a front row, an Audi R8 GT3 and an Aston Martin Vulcan. It doesn't get much better than that in Club Motorsports. Pick your cars to follow over the next 2 hours. Revs are up. Pace car is pulling into pit lane. Here they go up towards the green flag. The red lights are on. They go out now and away they go. Down towards Copse Corner for the first time. The Porsche trying to move up the inside there. That's Brad Thurston trying to take second place away, but it is Peter Erceg who takes off as expected into the lead in his Audi R8 GT3 up towards Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. What a fine sight this big field looks, and through into second goes Brad Thurston, the championship leader in the Porsche run by Matt Cherrington, and Cunningham's trying to get up there as well past Gleb Stepanovs. It's a Pro-Am pairing in the Aston Vulcan. Stepanov sharing with pro driver Stephen Tompkins, so that car will quicken up after the pit stops. They're all through Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. Look at this jockeying for position. This is all for second place because Peter Erceg's already taken off at the front in his Audi R8. There he is, just get a glimpse of him. Second place is the Aston Vulcan, then it's Porsches and Lamborghinis fighting for third place. Number 26 there, trying to get around the outside, is Dominic Malone in the Lamborghini Huracan ST. Now, Dominic normally races an ex-Andy Prio World Touring Car BMW in club racing events. It's his first time, I think, handling the Lamborghini. He's got it through there past the Porsches, up into third. Now, is that the Ferrari that's come through as well? Yes, it is. John Seal, now in his 70s and still going strong. John Seal, like a fine wine, he just gets quicker, just gets better with age. Gets quicker with age as well. The wheel of his Ferrari 488, sharing with pro driver Jamie Stanley. They've won in this championship in Lamborghinis in the past. There's the GT4 Mercedes. The yellow Porsche there, that's Cunningham's. And yeah, Brad Thurston has dropped back after his very fast start there into the midfield pack. There's the Mac G Racing Ginetta, the black and yellow car at the back of this group. That's Johnny McGregor, number 83, sharing with Josh Tomlinson. I imagine they'll be out in their Mazda RX-8 tomorrow in the trophy race. Going around to complete the first lap of this 2-hour race then. John Seal challenging Mark Cunningham at the inside into Brooklands. He's not close enough to make a move. We'll see what the lead is for Peter Erscheg, looking for his 3rd straight win and trying to take the overall championship lead. The Audi is currently 6th in the overall points. Of course, all the classes are combined together. Noise of that Audi, incredible as it passes my commentary box at Woodcote. And already he's 4.5 seconds clear of Stepanovs in 2nd. It's Malone 3rd, then the Cunninghams, then Seal. And up to 6th is the Audi TCR car. That's Jonathan Beeson absolutely flying up into 6th in the early stages. Brad Thurston has dropped down into 7th in his Porsche. We just see them go through there towards Maggots. 8th place is number 63, Keith Freezer, sharing his Lamborghini with Mikkel Mack, a multiple GT champion on the continent, the Danish driver. And then behind them it is the Jones and George car, currently fighting for the overall championship lead that it holds jointly with the number 28 Porsche and the Mercedes of Amir Naran, the white Mercedes, rounding out the top 10. But there's a long way to go yet in this 2-hour race on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuits. All 19 cars around the first lap okay, the field covered by about 24 seconds. Back of the field, number 34, we saw the VW Passats from Team Hard. They seem to have their fingers still in many pies in British motorsport, everything from British touring cars to truck racing. We've seen them in the past. That car being driven at the moment by Maurice Henry in the early stages. And the Solution F BMW, the French-built space frame machine, has dropped back as well. That's Sam Allpass's car, run by Jeff Steele Racing. A blast from my past, that is. I remember Jeff Steele racing in British touring cars back in the 1990s in a BMW X Matt Neal car. He's now running Sam Allpass's BMW M4-based Solution F machine. Sam Allpass, try and catch a glimpse of towards the back of the field. There he is, we just caught a glimpse of the white BMW. There's the 21 car, which is our GT4 class favourites. The number 21 currently leads the class there. Chris Jones just ahead of Amir Naran, the Battle of the Mercs. Start to spread out as the race goes on. The leaders completing their 2nd lap, and already the lead gap's up to nearly 8 seconds. Peter Erscheg has done a 2:05.928, and Stepanov's last lap was a 2:09.1. And oh, we've got a tangle there. That's Amir Naran. What has happened there? The Amir Naran Tom Jackson Mercedes GT4. We'll try and get a replay and see what has happened there. That car was running 2nd in the GT4 class, Class D. Now, who's he tangled with? I think that might have been one of the Ginettas. Yes, it's a number 60 car, my apologies. The Ashley Woodman Cupra TCR. There's been some contact there. Damage to the back of the Cupra, the EDF Motorsports car. They had a disaster with mechanical problems at Alton Park in the last round, so the last thing they need is more problems here. That's probably going to be a safety car, because those two cars stuck together on the track there. We'll try and get a replay and see what happened. There's the TCR class leader, number 87 in 6th overall, of Beeson and Healer. Jonathan Beeson at the wheel of that Audi RS3 at the moment. So 2 cars off, that's at the loop, the left-hander. There's the car, yes, the safety car is going to be coming out, I can tell you. The safety car is being scrambled. There's that number 38, the Sam Allpass Solution F BMW I mentioned, a little further down the order. It looks like a BMW M4, but it's not. Being told that Allpass was involved in that incident as well, so hopefully we can see what happened there. Okay, the safety car is out here at Silverstone for an incident at the loop involving car number 108, Amir Naran's GT4 Mercedes, the Breakel racing car. There it is, racing the wrong way, and the number 60, driven by Ash Woodman, sharing with ex-British touring car man Martin Byford in a tangle at the loop. The marshals waiting to recover those cars. There is the safety car. That's driven today by Martin Bather. Harry Cabot, the observer on board. That's up at Beckett's at the moment, waiting to pick up our race leader, Peter Erteg, in the Audi R8. This is going to check his progress after the first couple of laps. Mustang car volunteer marshals, the Orange family as we call them. We couldn't go racing without them. Have a look on the BARC website if you want to become a marshal. Well, Ashley Woodman out of the car there. You can see in the red and green overalls. Looks like it's end of race for the Cupra. That car was leading the points, but only by 3 points in the TCR category, ahead of the Audi of Jonathan Beeson and George Healer. So, assuming a trouble-free run for them, they're going to take the lead of that class in the championship. There we just caught a glimpse of the KTM there, the KTM Crossbow GT4. Certainly an intriguing-looking car, that one. Safety car, our leader. Peter Erteg ahead of Gleb Stepanovs in the Chameleon, the Aston Martin Vulcan. And it's Dominic Malone in the Lamborghini Huracan in third place, his first time with that car, sharing with Johnny Haynes. So the pack starting to catch up. There's the other Cupra, the blue and white number 22 of Richard Avery, sharing with Nick Hull. Former Porsche racers, those two. Just compete in Porsche Boxsters, I remember, a few years ago together. Safety car out to give the marshals chance to recover those two cars off at the loop. Cunningham's in fourth place in their Porsche, Mark and Peter. I think that's the first time we've seen that car out this year. Just looking down the points chart. No, they have appeared, I think that was at Brands Hatch. They're 17th in the points at the moment. And we can hand down to Ian, who was caught up, I think, with EDF Motorsports, who were involved in that incident down in the pits.
Yeah, welcome down everybody to the pit lane, and it's actually a sad garage here, and we're here with Ash Woodman's teammate Martin Byford, and it hasn't quite gone to plan, has it?
No, unfortunately we got involved in somebody else's accident there. The white Mercedes spun. Ash had committed to the corner and had nowhere to go.
Have you heard from Ash at all? Are we going to get the car back and maybe fixable? Because it's still got, what, an hour and 45 or so to go?
I don't know. I mean, doubtful. Looking at the damage that we can see on the onboard footage, it looks like it's taken the right front corner off the car. So, knowing how these things are put together, I doubt it's going to be movable today.
So you won't need to get dressed in your overalls, unfortunately.
No play suit for me today.
Oh, Martin, I'm so sorry. Thanks for talking to us, though. I appreciate it, and better luck next time, mate.
Thank you.
Dave, back to you.
In that situation with the car in the middle of the circuit and being collected, unfortunately, by Ash Woodman.
A great shame for EDF Motorsports. They're hoping for some better fortune after Alton Park, but their race only lasted a couple of laps. By the look at it, they now got to pin their hopes on the other car of Avery and Hull, which is running 14th, but a long way behind the Audi RS3 in the TCR touring car category. Indeed, only 3 TCR spec cars here. Looking to see if the lights have gone out on top of the safety car. A bit tricky to see in the sunlight here at Silverstone. No, they're still on at the moment. I can see the safety car out of the window of my commentary box up at Brooklands. It's Peter Erteg who leads the Crocodile around, with the Chameleon in second place of Gleb Stepanovs. So Class A is being led by Erteg, Class B by Dominic Malone's Lamborghini, Class C by the Cunningham Porsche, Class D by Chris Jones in the Venture Innovations Mercedes, teammates of the Aston Martin Vulcan. Class E, that's the TCR class being led by the Audi. Class F, well, there's just one entry in Class F. It's the Thompson Jaguar, run by New Barn Racing. That's in 12th overall. Class G for the Ginettas, who's being led by Johnny McGregor in 10th overall. Those are your class leaders so far. It's Brad Thurston's Porsche, the other Lamborghini behind of Keith Freezer. And there is that distinctive looking TM GT4, the Austrian built machine. KTM, of course, much more famous for their motorcycles. But the KTM Crossbow, Mike McCollum and Sean Cooper, the drivers, for Track Focused. Certainly a very distinctive looking car on very large headlights. Seen some British GT in the GT4 category in the past, but back in the British Endurance Championship today and hoping for a GT4 class win. They're currently third in class, 13th overall. How's the recovery going? Oh, we've got the breakdown cranes out, unfortunately. They've had to bring on the heavy artillery. We see the Cupra TCR of EDF Motorsports being lifted. Such a shame we've lost those two cars so early in the race. Shame for Tom Jackson as well, who was the champion last year overall, driving with Wayne Mars in the Rob Boston Racing Mercedes AMG GT3. Wayne Mars concentrating on racing his collection of Ferraris this year. Speaking of Ferrari, we seen another one out there, but unfortunately Chris Goddard's blue Ferrari got written off in a crash at Alton Park. Hopefully we'll see Chris back out. He's got quite a collection of Ferraris, might race one of his older cars later in the season. Hopefully we'll be able to get underway. It's quite a recovery operation up there, with at least one of the cars being lifted onto the flatbed with the crane. Safety car up at Abbey at the moment. It's weaving to keep their tyres warm behind it in this. We can't really say crocodile if there's a chameleon in it, can we? Apparently it's an in-joke among the team that the chameleon livery was applied to that beautiful Aston Vulcan. There's the VW Passat of Maurice Henry and Paul Curran towards the back of the field. Good to have the Cunninghams back in their Porsche. They missed the last round at Alton Park. With this series for many years now. We also saw last year Porsche veterans Dave Bennett and Marcus Fothergill as well. Hopefully we'll see the bespoke Defenders Porsche back out soon. There we see the recovery going on. Two cars being lifted now. Quite a delicate operation there between those two trucks, lifting the cars back to the paddock. I don't think we're going to be seeing any more racing laps for them today, sadly. Amir Naran and Tom Jackson were third overall in the championship, coming into this round third in the GT4 points. Behind Neville and Chris Jones and Matt George. Just Chris and Matt racing the Venture Innovations Merc today. Speaking of Matt George, I think we can hear from him down in the pits in a moment. Down to Ian.
Yeah, welcome back everybody to the pits here. Matt George is with me. Almost a little break in play almost, isn't there? We're going to have a little talk about strategy. Early safety car outside the pit window still, of course. Does this actually change anything for you guys?
To be honest, not massively. Like you said, outside the pit window we can't stop. Another thing that can come into play is even if we can stop early when the pit window opens, you can't refuel under the safety car. So some cars might be able to get rid of a pit stop, some won't, depending on how much fuel we've got left. We actually capitalised on something like this at Alton Park, and I managed to fuel save for my last stint to be able to capitalise on that. Other than that, it's just a whole lot of waiting at the moment.
It's an early safety car, isn't it? So you might be able to save a bit of fuel. You might be to take the tyres a bit as well.
Yeah. So Chris is all over tyre management in the car at the moment. It's quite a balance, trying to keep temperature in the tyre. You don't want to lose the temperature, but also without taking any life out of the tyre, because they've still got a long way to go before we'll even consider changing them. And I want the best tyres I can when I get in.
After what you do, Matt, I'll let you go. I say get ready, but you're kind of already ready, aren't you? And look at that guy's hair, by the way, absolutely unbelievable. Matt, best of luck, mate.
Thank you very much.
Dave, back to you.
Escape Silverstone pretty quickly in terms of gaps in walls, so might be able to get off down there through the cut through pretty quickly, but it all depends on race control when they decide to bring the safety car in when they feel they're clear.
Well, the cars are at Stowe, just turning through the right-hander. Which means I need to put another lap on with that job, and that's 6 done, so this is the easy bit.
Well, good to hear from Matt George there down in the pits, and one of their class rivals sadly being stretchered off. The number 108 Brakel Racing Mercedes AMG GT4, run by James Brakel, the ex-Radical champion. Thanks for all your comments on the YouTube stream, incidentally. One of you says, if none of the camera guys got an angle on the commentary box, could have had a quick wave from me. You don't want me appearing on camera, trust me. I'm well hidden away near Woodcuts, thank you. Still under the safety car here at Silverstone in this British Endurance Championship round 4 of the season. Of course, they've got their 6-hour race coming up at Donington Park in. Your leader is Peter Erteg, who's led every lap so far at the wheel of his gorgeous Audi R8 GT3. Beautiful sounding car that is as well. Gleb Stepanovs from Latvia in second place in the Aston Martin Vulcan. Dominic Malone, new face in the series, sharing with Johnny Haynes in the M-Tech Lamborghini Huracan ST, the Super Trofeo. There's number 38, Sam Allpass, the Solution F BMW M4. When is a BMW not a BMW M4? When it's a Solution F TC12 touring car. Sam Allpass, who's raced Radicals among many other things in the past. He was one of the first drivers to race a Radical, I remember, when the Peterborough-based sports car firm went racing in the late 90s. There's the Cupra, out of the race sadly. It's all going wrong for Ash Woodman and Martin Byford, unfortunately. Now, are the lights out atop the safety car as it comes into my view this time? Yes, it looks like they are, so we're going to be going racing again. The conclusion of lap 6 here at Silverstone. We're already 20 minutes into this race, so the pit window is going to be opening in a few seconds. It might be a little too late for these drivers, or is that why they're hanging back so they can get in this lap? We'll wait and see when the pit window opens. Pit window opens 20 minutes into the race. That's in 30 seconds time. And I think they're going to have to go around do another lap before they can come in. They're just going to be too early as the green flag waves are back underway, and Peter Erteg sets off again into the race lead. He's already about 3 lengths clear as he reaches comps ahead of Gleb Stepanovs in the Aston Martin. Dominic Malone in 3rd place, proud owner of the ex-Andy Prio World Touring Car Championship winning BMW, seen in various club events over the years. Mark Cunningham up there in 4th place ahead of John Seal in the Ferrari. Pit window open. See who our first caller is going to be next time around. There's the Porsche of Brad Thurston coming under fire from Jonathan Beeson. That's the battle for 6th position. Looks like the Porsche's got back ahead of the Audi there on the restart. Superior grunt down the straight of the 991 911. Here comes the second of the Lamborghinis as well. That's Keith Freezer attacking the Audi RS3 of Jonathan Beeson. The main battle at the moment is for 6th position between, you can see Jonathan Beeson quicker in the twisty bits, the Audi RS against the brute force of the Porsche 911 of Brad Thurston. They're a Class C car. They're currently 2nd in class. They need to catch the Cunninghams here if they're going to keep their overall points lead. Brad Thurston and Daryl De Leon. Watch for him when he gets in, the man from the Philippines. the ex-Radical champion, the wheel of the Porsche today. There's Matt Cherrington's team that prepares that machine, the car transported by Team Hard. There's number 21 of Chris Jones battling it out with the Lamborghini ahead of Keith Fraser. He's raced everything up to and including his Formula 1 cars in the past, the Canadian, making his debut in the series this afternoon. Then Johnny McGregor's Ginetta, then the Jaguar F-Type, and there's the Aston Martin, that's the GT4 Aston Martin, being driven by Peter Montague, sharing with pro driver Stuart Hall. They've got the KTM in front of them there by the look of it, so a battle between the GT4 cars. Is anybody going to make their first pit stop this time through? It's the pit window open, and this is the first time for anyone to come in. Doesn't look like they are. Yes, the Aston Martin lost a fair bit of ground on that last lap. His last lap was a 2 minutes 20 compared with 2:16, 2:17 for those around it. So the Aston of Peter Montague dropping back a little on that first lap of the restart. Brad Thurston fighting it out with Keith Fraser in the Lamborghini. That's the battle for 7th overall. They are in different classes. The Porsche Class C and the Lamborghini is in Class B. They've got the GT4 class leading Mercedes of Chris Jones behind them with the headlights ablaze. Look at the Lamborghini dodging around there on the tail of the Porsche. There's Johnny McGregor's yellow Ginetta next, and here comes Sam Allpass. Now, he was involved in that tangle at the loop earlier on that took cars out of the race. He survived it in the Solution F BMW M4 and is now recovering. Gained 4 places on that first lap of the restart, so showed how much he'd been held back by the safety car. See what the lead gap is as they come through this time between Ersheg and Stepanovs. There is Allpass challenging Johnny McGregor. Seen him in his Tyrannus sports prototype in British Endurance Championship in the past. He'll be in his very modified Mazda RX-8 tomorrow, I'm sure, as well, sharing with Josh Tomlinson. Busy towards the tail end of the field, but up front it is still Peter Ersheg just going over the line now. See what his lead is over Gleb Stepanovs as they pass the timing lines up to 3 seconds, just over. Thurston still trying to hold off Fraser. This is the battle for 7th position. Porsche against Lamborghini. Round 4 at Silverstone of the British Endurance Championship for 2023. We're coming up to the half-hour mark in this race in just a couple of laps' time. We're 1/4 distance in this 2-hour race. Still nobody into the pits yet to open the pit stop. Sam Allpass flying through the order. He's gained another 3 places on that last lap. His next target is going to be Chris Jones in the Mercedes, shared with Matt George. And they are just behind these two, battling it out, Thurston and Fraser. Main focus of the battle at the moment, because it's Ersheg from Stepanovs by 3.1 seconds. A further 3 seconds back is Dominic Malone in his Lamborghini, 3rd place. Then just over a second back of the Cunninghams in the yellow Porsche. Mark Cunningham at the wheel in 4th place. John Seal is in 5th position in the Ferrari, a further 5 seconds back. He's 8 seconds clear, 8.5 seconds clear of Jonathan Beeson in the Audi RS3 TCR. Sam Allpass, the man on the move in the Solution F BMW, run by Jeff Steele Racing, who's been a specialist in BMWs for many, many years. As the TCR Audi just causes a glimpse of ahead of this group. Another place gained by Sam Allpass. He's got ahead of the 21 Mercedes. Allpass a Class B car. Class B cars we have seen take overall wins in the past. Claude Beauvais and David McDonald have had some success in their Lamborghini Super Trofeo in the past when they were in Class B. sadly not out this weekend. They were due to be out in their Class A. Aston Martin, but that wasn't ready. Comparison of the last couple of lap times there, you can see just how quickly Audi is going compared to the midfield runners. Another new fastest lap last time through for Peter Erskine. He's done a 2:05.847. Nobody else has yet lapped under 2 minutes 7. Nearly 5 seconds in it between the two leaders now. Sam Allpass has gained another place. He's ahead of Chris Jones now. His next target is Keith Freezer and Brad Thurston. These two have been fairly close together all race long, but they're going to be joined by a third car in a moment for Sam Allpass. Let's compare his lap times, the two ahead of them. Yes, it was nearly a second quicker on that last lap. He's catching Keith Freezer, the Canadian, in his Lamborghini. Lamborghini run by the Scott Sport team. The simply liveried car of Haynes and Malone is an M-Tech car. There goes your leader. We haven't forgotten about Peter Erskine up front. He is just running away, as he has in the last two races. He lapped the field at both Brands Hatch and Alton Park, along with, well, it was Marcus Clutton at Brands Hatch and Andrew Bentley who took over the car, with Marcus Clutton busy with other commitments that weekend. Car is dominating this year, so certainly overall in the British Endurance Championship. It's not leading the points overall, it's only 6th, leading Class A ahead of the Aston Martin Vulcan in the points. And the only other Class A entries we've had this year, Bove and David McDonald. Andy Stokoe's also appeared in there. It was a Mercedes that they were in, but now switching to the Aston Martin they'd hoped to this weekend. And the only other car entered, I think, in Class A is Lucky Kera and Lee Frost with the Race Lab McLaren, but I don't think that car has raced yet this year. We've seen Lucky and Lee winners in their Lamborghini for Race Lab in the last couple of years. Coming up to the 30-minute mark then. Still no mandatory pit stoppers. At the inside, here comes the Lamborghini against the Porsche. Great fight going on between these two, Freezer and Brad Thurston, and keep through in the Scott Sport Lamborghini. Brad Thurston fights back. All the time Sam Allpass is gaining as well. John Seal in the Ferrari is dropping down the timing screen. Has he come into the pits? I haven't had notification that he has. Have we lost the Ferrari somewhere? Yeah, the number 55 Ferrari has not come through on that last lap. Oh, and over the tarmac runoff area of Beckett's there goes Brad Thurston. A mistake there, so he's trying to retake Keith Freezer, but he hasn't made a very good fist of it there, and he's dropped back into the clutches of Sam Allpass now. Just waiting to see where the Ferrari has got to. We think it's coming into the pits very slowly. Yes, it's into the pit lane. So problems for John Seal in the number 55. There he is. John Seal and Jamie Stanley. Problems for the Ferrari. Find out from Ian down there what the problem is. Not been a happy season for Seal and Stanley in the R&R Performance Cars Ferrari. It's not been a happy season overall for R&R Performance Cars, because the other Ferrari they run for Chris Goddard was written off at Alton Park in an accident in qualifying. Thankfully Charlie Hand, the young co-driver, the pro racer, former Britcar Trophy star, was okay after that accident. The Ferrari certainly wasn't. Lead gap is up to 8.5 seconds now. See our battle here between Thurston and Allpass. And Thurston delayed as he made a mistake through Beckett's for the last time. They're on the tail of Freezer, and they're now catching Jonathan Beeson as well in the Audi. The Audi now up to 5th with the demise of John Seal's Ferrari. Try and find out from our pit reporter Ian Waterhouse what the problem is with that Ferrari 488 Challenge. No further pit callers so far. It's been told by British Endurance Championship press officer Steve Wood it's a power steering problem with the Ferrari. So the power steering has failed on John Seale's Ferrari, unfortunately. Thank you to Steve there. Here's a battle further back in the order we saw a glimpse of there between Mark Ellman's SVG Ginetta and Richard Avery's Cupra. They're fighting for what is 14th place overall, and still Sam Allpass not able to get the Solution F BMW past Brad Thurston's Porsche. That BMW reminds me a bit of some of the old special saloon racers of the 70s. Jerry Marshall, Baby Bertha and all that, but a modern equivalent. Got around the outside of the Porsche, he's got him, and he's got past the Audi as well. Great move there, Sam Allpass into Stowe Corner, around the outside of two cars. That shows how delayed that BMW special, if you like, was early on, the Solution F car. And now Thurston up the inside, Jonathan Beeson's going to lose 2 places in the TCR Audi. Here's that fight further back, Nick Hull and Richard Avery's Cupra. It's Avery on board at the moment, in fact, fighting with Mark Ellman in the SVG Ginetta. That car will fly later on when Owen Hizzy, very quick Ginetta racer. We've seen him in Brick Car Trophy take a few wins sharing with Mark Lee's Ginetta. Will take over that car later on. Here comes Allpass. He's going to, well, he's living up to his name in this race, isn't he? Allpass. He is passing them all coming through the field. He's having a go at the Lamborghini now of Keith Freezer. This is for what I think is now 5th position, because there's been a fair bit of place swapping on this lap. Yeah, the Audi's dropped back 3 spots because Thurston's there ahead of him. We'll confirm the order when they cross the line to complete lap 13. Which Peter Erschek will be doing very shortly in the Audi R8 GT3. Still no further pit callers bar the Ferrari with that power steering issue. Lead gap is up to 10.6 seconds now. Another new fastest lap for Peter Erschek, 2:05.468. Let's see what the order is in the midfield. Yes, it's Freezer up to 5th in the Lamborghini, number 63. Allpass is 6th. Thurston 7th, and Jonathan Beeson's lost 3 places in the Audi, but still leads his class. He's down to 8th. Number 83 car has pitted. That's Johnny McGregor and Josh Tomlinson's Ginetta out of the lead of Class G. Class G for Ginetta. Hopefully that's just a scheduled stop. I think that's the first of our scheduled stops. Josh Tomlinson will take over. A minimum of 2 mandatory stops for each car. I think we can head shortly down to Ian Waterhouse in the pits. We saw the 55 Ferrari down there at Ian's with the R&R Performance Cars team. Apologies for a few audio problems down there with our pit reporter. We're back down to R&R Performance Cars shortly as Sam Allpass continues to chase down Keith Freezer's Lamborghini for 5th position overall. Now, where is Allpass in his category? He's up to 3rd now, and Freezer in 2nd. It's the other Lamborghini, Dominic Malone, who's leading Class B at the moment. Class C is being led by Mark Cunningham's Porsche in 4th overall. How far ahead is he of this little group? Quite a way, I think. Yeah, the lead gap is now up to 12.3 seconds. Actually increases his lead by another 2 seconds on that last lap. And Allpass has gone through there at the end of the lap because the Lamborghini has come into the pits. So Keith Freezer has brought the Lamborghini in to hand over to Mikael Mack, the very quick Danish GT racer. Richard Avery's Cupra TCR has come in as well to hand over to Nick Hull, his fellow former Porsche racer, for EDF Motorsports as they try to catch the Audi. This Audi, number 87, Jonathan Beeson and George Healer in the TCR category. Lead gap is 12.3 seconds, and another 13 seconds back to Dominic Malone. 3.5 seconds is the gap back from them two. Mark Cunningham. And all passes over 30 seconds down, so his move up the order I think will stall there. So a couple of cars currently in pit lane. The Ginetta has headed back out of McGregor and Tomlinson, and Avery has headed back out as well. That was only a short stop for Richard Avery, so whether there's a problem with the number 22 car, we will try and find out. I think we can try again to head back down to the pits with Ian.
Yeah, welcome back. I think we had a bit of an audio break-up before. We couldn't quite hear you, Jamie, I'm afraid, last time. But it's a sad news because the 55 Ferrari out and it's power steering.
Yeah, unfortunately the pumps failed, so it makes it too difficult to drive, unfortunately.
A bit too unpredictable, so it's just not safe, is it?
Yeah, so the way the system works doesn't make it just heavy. It's like pushing against a brick wall. It's actually a solid push against. So once it locks out, you have to wait for it to move enough fluid to unlocks. It's too dangerous to continue. You can turn right and actually been able to not physically turn it.
You've certainly done the right thing. Really sorry, Jamie. Absolutely gutting. It's a bit of a crowd pleaser, this, though, isn't it, to look at?
It's so beautiful. It's just a shame.
What is it normally like to drive?
They're great. You know, the 488 Challenge car, you know, it's the fastest car I either teach in or race in. They may not go around the corners quite as well the GT3s, but they'll out-accelerate anything here.
Brilliant. But Jamie, thanks for talking to us, mate. Enjoy the rest of the race, mate. Yeah,
Take care.
Dave, back to you.
Peter Urchet continues to lead them. Good to hear from Jamie Stanley there. Sadly won't get to drive the Ferrari 488 today. That's our third retirement, sadly. Amelia puts the R&R Performance Cars Ferrari 488 out of the race. We've had a couple more pit callers. The Cunningham's Porsche has come in from 4th place. Also in is the Jones and George Mercedes GT4. Matt George will take over there. I don't think there was a driver change for... There is the number 21 Mercedes. I don't think there was a driver change for the Avery and Hull Cupra TCR. That was only a short stop for Richard Avery according to the timing screen. Through goes Urteg into Coxey's court up to the Cupra we just mentioned. The only Cupra left running now. It's a lap on him. See what the gap is. Yeah, 13.7 seconds between the two leaders now, so he's taken out nearly another second and a half. Peter Urchet, the former Porsche racer. He has absolutely blitzed the field in the last couple of rounds. He and his pro co-drivers. Marcus Clutton back in the car for this round. Another ex-Radical racer, Marcus Clutton. There's number 26 third place car of Dominic Malone and John Haynes. The Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo run by the M-Tech team. He's done some 17.5 seconds down on Gleb Stepanovs in the Vulcan in second place, leading Class B. So 7 cars have now called into the pits, although one was to retire. The Porsche, Peter Cunningham is back out. That's going to give Sam Allpass 4th position in the Solution F TC12 BMW. There is the number 63 Lamborghini heading back out. It's now with Mikael Mack on board. Now he should be the quicker of the 2 drivers in the Scott Sport entry. No disrespect intended to Keith Freezer, of course, though he is a very rapid, historic racer. The car I can hear coming into the pits, that's the VW Passat of Maurice Henry, handing over to Paul Curran. All passed up to 4th temporarily, then Thurston 5th. Beeson is 6th and still leads the TCR class. Thurston now leading Class C because the Cunninghams have stopped. It's the KTM up to 7th of Mike McCollum, sharing with Sean Cooper. Jaguar F-Type was 8th, but Adam Thompson has brought it in to hand over to Callum Thompson. Leader coming up to lap the number 50 Aston of Peter Montague. He has yet to stop. I think we have got the cars are left running, 9 of them still yet to make their first pit stop. There is the Jaguar F-Type number 88. Adam and Callum Thompson, the New Barn Racing machine, a new engine for them this season, and hoping that it will change their luck. They had a lot of technical problems with that car last year. They struck again at Alton Park. The car also had a couple of grassy moments. A change is taking place. So if the car's being refueled, the driver cannot be in it for safety reasons. There's the Aston Martin number 50 at Montague and Hall. They've just been lapped by race leader Peter Ercik. One hour 17 minutes just over of this race to go. And the Audi still lapping in the low 206s, about a second and a half a lap quicker than the Aston Vulcan at the moment. There is the Vulcan in second place, the Chameleon. Stefan Holmes not yet handing over to Stephen Tompkins. Peter Ercik not yet handing over to Marcus Kluss. Be a great battle of the pros when they do so. Hearing the reports of possible problem for Jonathan Beeson's number 87 Audi. We're hearing reports of a misfire possibly for the TCR class leader. See if we can pick up on that car. Beeson and George Heeler car. And there goes the Aston Vulcan, now 17 seconds off Peter Ercik. There is the Audi. Still at speed at the moment, just ahead of one of the Lamborghinis there. We can now hand down to the Pitsy and Waterhouses with Adam Thompson of New Barn Racing.
Yeah, I'm here with Adam Thompson. Just actually had a pit stop. You just had a driver change as well. You said it was sweltering out there, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're one of the only cars that doesn't run aircon, so you can imagine this heat. It gets quite hot quite quick. So 2 laps in, you want in a water break.
We were gonna chat straight away. You said, "I've got to have some water. Got to have some water." How was the stint out there?
Yeah, it was good. I think the start of the race was eventful. Obviously, there was a few people that were close, and then there was an unfortunate crash. And then we were just looking to maintain a target lap pace. So 2:17 was where we think we can be at for the rest of the race, and so we're just getting on with our race and not worrying about anyone else. So if we catch, we catch. If we don't,
It's the way to be, isn't it? But talking about that safety car incident, of course, it was well before the pit window opened. Did that change anything for you guys strategy-wise, or was it just no? I
think we decided to run a sort of 30-35 minute stint in the middle at the beginning, and then run as much as the fuel tank would allow us for the middle, and then do another stint at the end. So that was always the plan. It wasn't just in front of us actually, the incident. So it was fortunate that we missed it, but unfortunate for them.
Well, I'm glad you missed it as well, Adam. Go get some more water. Go on, mate.
Cheers.
Dave, there you go. Back to you.
So good to hear from New Barn Racing there. The Jaguar running well at the moment. They're in 14th place. The Beeson and Heeler Audi RS3 has come into the pits, and from my vantage point it looked like it went straight into the garage, so maybe they have got a problem there. Not a good race for the TCR cars, unfortunately, because we saw Woodman and Byford's Cupra out on the second lap. Now, if the Audi, yes, it's in the garage, the bonnet is up, so they have got a problem. if this is end of race for the Audi, then there's only one TCR car left, the Holland Avery Cupra. And work going on, as we can see, from the Sheard Autosports team run by Paul Sheard. Began his career in motorsports as a long-time short oval racer. One of the first specialists in Mazda MX-5 racing as well, Paul, the Cheshire-based racer. Here's a fight for position as well. This is the Cunningham Porsche. Sam Allpass's Solution F BMW. Is this for position? No, I think this is, they are a lap apart, these two. Yes, the BMW goes through. Yeah, the Cunningham Porsche has been into the pits and the BMW has yet to stop. Dominic Malone has come in with his Lamborghini as well to make his stop. Handing over to John Haynes. 20.8 seconds, meanwhile, is now the lead gap. Haynes, Malone, Lamborghini is in, so Allpass will go up to third overall. We'll wait to hear a diagnosis on the Audi RS3, which is currently in its pit garage. We heard a report that it was misfiring. Fastest lap of the race, incidentally, has been recorded by Michael Mack in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. He said he'd be one to watch, the multiple GT champion across Europe. 2:04.931 recorded by Michael Mack, a couple of tenths quicker than the race leader. That car has made 2 stops though, so it's running a little way down the order. It's made a second stop. See work going on there on the Audi RS3. Peter Montague in the Aston Martin number 50 has come in to hand over to Stuart Hall. That's left the KTM in the lead of the GT4 class, Class D, McCollum and Cooper. Also in is the Ginetta of number 74, Mark Elman. So Owen Hizzy is going to take over that car. It's the green and gold livery number 74 Ginetta for SVG Motorsports. It's still Peter Erceg who leads overall though. 47 minutes of racing gone, last count at the start-finish line. So we'll soon be coming up to half distance. To lap the KTM, Mike McCollum. So there's only 5 cars that have yet to stop. The Audi R8, the Aston Vulcan, Sam Allpass's BMW clone, the Thurston de Leon Porsche, and as I say that car comes in. And the KTM is the only other car that is yet to stop. Now, have the Mack and Friese Lamborghini team done their mandatory pit stops as close together as possible? I think we can head down to Ian, who's with the Sheard Autosport team, can give us an update on the Audi.
Yeah, welcome down to the pits, everybody. As you can see, the 87 Paul Sheard racing car here. They're actually replacing the high-pressure fuel pump here. That's what's going on right now, hence the reason for the delay. Those of you who are interested in track temperatures as well, I had a quick chat from the gentleman from Goodyear a little bit earlier. The track temperature was 35 degrees when the race started. It's now gone up to 36. There we go. Dave, back to you.
The Aston Martin Vulcan is the next car into the pits. So Peter Erceg is leaving his first pit stop quite late, trying to follow a different strategy perhaps. And we heard the Audi suffering from problems with its fuel pump, which has caused the misfire. Hopefully they can replace that, the Sheard Autosport team, and get that car going again. They'll want to, because there's only one other TCR car left in the race, the Cupra. 87, we are told, is on its way back out of the pits in a moment, so they've replaced the fuel pump. So the Thurston Porsche is in pit lane, so is the Aston Vulcan. Stephen Tompkins will take over there. There's the 87 car, it is going back out. Let's hope the issue is cured. Daryl De Leon, the former Radical Sports Prototype champion from the Philippines, will take over the Porsche run by Matt Cherrington. We saw him racing his Clio in Brit Car Trophy, Matt, last season. Sam Allpass flashing the lights away at one of the Lamborghinis there. That's the car with Mikael Mack on board, I think, the number 63. So Allpass is a lap ahead of him. That's why he wants to get through. There's the Vulcan. Looks great, doesn't it, in those colours? Stephen Tompkins will now be on board that car as we come up towards half distance in this round 4 of the British Endurance Championship here at Silverstone. Supported by Motorsport UK. So the only 2 cars that have yet to stop are Sam Allpass and Peter Urchek, because the KTM has now come in from 4th place and the lead of the GT4 class. There are 16 running now out of the 19 who started. We lost the second EDF Motorsport Cupra and the number 108, the Breakout Racing Mercedes, in a tangle on the second lap of the loop. While John Seal and Jamie Stanley's Ferrari went out with broken power steering. They completed 10 laps. 21 laps now completed by our leader, Peter Urchek. Be a race of just over 50 laps, I would think, of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. That depends on any further safety cars, though. Here's the leader in Class F. This is the Thompson & Thompson Jaguar F-Type V8. Well, with the Vulcan having pitted, Sam Allpass is now up to second, as the Aston Martin of Stuart Hall there moves past the Cupra. Not sure whether it's Nick Hull or Richard Avery on board that car now. There's the KTM in the pits. Now being Sean Cooper who's got on board that car. See what the lead margin is now, of course, and more importantly the margin back to Stephen Tompkins, because of course the 2 cars out in front haven't pitted yet. Got to be close to a lap between the 2 leaders now, Urchek and Sam Allpass. There's number 22 of Nick Hull and Richard Avery. They lead Class E after problems for the Audi, which have dropped it a couple of laps down. They had problems at Alton Park as well, this second Cupra. They'll be hoping for a trouble-free run here to try to win the class and recoup some ground in the championship. Coming round towards the Wellington Straight. Sam Allpass may be working to a different strategy to everyone else again, because he is driving solo in the BMW. Indeed, there is a lap between the 2 of them. This is first place coming up to lap second place. Sam Allpass moves wide through Luffield corner. Luffield 1 and 2 as it's known. Over the line they go together. Another fastest lap for Mikael Mack in the Lamborghini. Watch for that car. 2:04.097. Peter Urchek's last lap was a 2:08.2. Mikael Mack is the danger man in this race in the number 63 Lamborghini. I wonder if that's why they've made 2 stops already very quickly between, to give Mikael Mack the maximum amount of time in the car. Because looking at the notes from Steve Wood, the press officer, in multi-driver teams, no driver may drive more than 60% of the race. So I think they've got Michael Mack in there for the maximum amount of time. Okay, the reason for the second stop, we've just had it brought to us. It was actually a drive-through penalty for presumably a misdemeanor during their first pit stop for the Mack and Freezer cars. They do still have to make another stop. So thank you for the clarification there, Steve Wood. But Michael Mack, they're trying to get him as much time in the car as possible, though his fastest lap has just been usurped by Stephen Tompkins. He's just in a 2:03.152 in the Aston Vulcan in what is now third place. But of course we haven't yet seen Marcus Clutton out there because the Audi has yet to stop from the lead. Do have to make 2 stops, but not necessarily 2 driver changes. Sam Allpass going it alone, the only driver who is going it alone, and on a hot day like this in a 2-hour race, that is quite a brave move. Meanwhile, the 2 Lamborghinis battling one another. This is for position, this is for 4th place between Dominic Malone and Johnny Haynes. I think it's Johnny Haynes on board that car now. And here comes the 63 of Michael Mack. He's surely going to get past it on the run into Stowe. There he goes. Up into 4th place goes Michael Mack. Stepanovs and Tompkins. Tompkins, to be precise, who's got the fastest lap of the race in the Aston Vulcan. He's the pro of the pairing, as we mentioned earlier. Still haven't seen Peter Erscheg hand over his Audi to Marcus Clutton, a very quick GT and sports prototype racer. Tompkins over the line, 2:01.711. It's me, that's 2 seconds quicker than even Michael Mack was managing. So now they're really starting to ramp up the speed, the leading cars. Could they catch that Audi R8 out in front? We're waiting to see when Peter Erscheg comes in to make his first stop. The Jones and George car has stopped twice as well. Was that for a penalty? We haven't had any notification from race control. We can hand down to Ian, who's got some news for us down in the pits, I believe.
Here we are, Mike McCollum and Mike. We've been stood up quite a long way for this, haven't we? But you've just been out, of course, indicating you've done your stint. How was it?
It was great. The car was fantastic. I think we had decent pace. We managed to miss the start, which was a bit embarrassing. From polling class to miss the start was oops.
You didn't have to admit that, you know. I mean, we already knew it, but you didn't have to admit it.
Well, I noticed it. So that made for fun, though, you know. So I got to overtake a few people, have a dice with a few people, and just keep going, really. That's all you can do. And the car was great, so I had a good time.
Tell us a little bit more about the car, because we believe it's the only one in the UK.
It is KTM Crossbow. It's carbon fibre monocoque. It's quite light, not very powerful though. So on the straights, against like the Mercedes and such, we're just we're slow in the straights and quick in the corner because we're quite light, which makes it a little bit difficult racing. So, but I found some good places to overtake. Last of the late breakers, and yeah, I had a good time.
We need to get you back on some more tight and twisty circuits then, don't we?
Well, we're doing hopefully the rest of the season. We'll do the 6 hours and the rest of the season. So we'll be out again.
Right, go get some water. Go on, and have a sit down as well.
Thank you very much.
Dave, back to you.
A quick call down to the pits there once again as we reach half distance in this 2-hour race for the MSUK British Endurance Championship here at Silverstone. And Peter Erscheg and Marcus Clutton's Audi R8 GT3 has led every lap of it so far. Sam Allpass still second in the BMW Solution F, but both of those cars have yet to make a pit stop. Leader of the stoppers is the Stepanovs Tompkins Aston Martin Vulcan. They've got the fastest lap of the race, and the Vulcan is just over 4 seconds off Sam Allpass. In fact, has it already got through? Yes, there it is. And he has got through Stephen Tompkins back up into second place in the Aston. Fourth place is Mikael Mack at the wheel of the 63 Lamborghini. He's taken over from Keith Frieser. Completing the top 5, the other Lamborghini of Malone and Haynes. Through the rest of the order. Sixth place is Brad Thurston and Daryl DeLeon in the Porsche. They lead Class C. It's Allpass leading Class B, but he's yet to pit. And the Haynes Malone car has come back into the pits as well. One of the Lamborghinis from 5th position, so a second stop for them. 7th place is the yellow Porsche we just saw, the Cunninghams. Now let's see, is this a scheduled stop here for the Johnny Haynes Dominic Malone car? A famous footballer many years ago called Johnny Haynes. Not the same person, of course, here. Change taking place. Well, it gets out and the fuel goes in. But you can't refuel a car, as you said earlier, with the driver aboard for safety reasons, should something go wrong. Fire extinguishers on standby just in case. There is the Vulcan, or the Chameleon as it's now known. Stephen Tompkins on board. I've said it before, it is wonderful to look at, isn't it? The leader has come in, and so has Sam Allpass. So our two pace setters over the last few laps are in. Is this going to give Stephen Tompkins a chance to reel in the Audi? There's a lap up on everybody else, so we'll wait to see how long this stop takes for Peter Ersheg, handing over to the very rapid Marcus Clutton. A bit of a lock up there from the TCR Cupra there. That's the Nick Hull, Richard Avery car. Mentioning Johnny Haynes there, his father John Haynes and Senior was the promoter for many years at the Brayfield Stock Car Stadium, not far from Silverstone, Northampton Shaleway as it's now known. Still going strong. I've commentated there on many occasions, including the Formula One Stock Cars World Final a few years ago. I believe that's hosting this year's World Final for the Formula One Stock Cars. So Johnny Haynes Jr. in action here in his Lamborghini, sharing with Dominic Malone, but the car back in the pits, we see it there. Sam Allpass still in the pits as well. We know that the Audi's been in as well. That's on its way back out with Marcus Clutton aboard. So we're going to see who ends up in front here. There is the Audi, it's at Beckett's. Marcus Clutton just getting the tyres warmed back up again here on his outlap. I think he's still clear of Stephen Tompkins in the Vulcan. Yeah, there's the Vulcan in the background, so the Audi is still leading with 55 minutes of this race to go. Sam Allpass still in the pit lane, having made his stop a little way after the Audi. So that means that it's Audi, Aston. See where the Solution F BMW slots back in. Could well be Mikael Mack up into third place in the Lamborghini, and that would put him into the lead of Class B. Behind them is the Thurston de Leon Porsche, the Cunningham Porsche, the McCollum Cooper KTM now leading Class D at the moment. We'll see where everything cycles back in after that round of pit stops. Class D, the GT4 cars. The Jones and George Mercedes made a second stop as well. There's the KTM leading Class D. Still 16 cars left running. The Haynes Malone car has dropped down to 10th place. Johnny Haynes, as in John Haynes Jr., who we see racing here today, was involved with the HGML team in British GT. I think that was the team in British Touring Cars, I should say. I think that was the team back in the super production era in the early 2000s. They had the Peugeot 306s. Team HGML, that was Simon Harrison and Roger Bowen, I think, if memory serves me correctly. Sam Allpass is still in the pit lane in his BMW according to the timing screen, so he's down to 5th now in the classification. So that's handed 3rd place to this car, the number 63 Lamborghini. As the Owen Hizzy and Mark Elman car comes back in for its 2nd stop, the number 74. Some of these teams doing their pit stops close together unless it's... that's a problem, in fact, we're told, for the 74 car. We saw some sparks from underneath as it came into the pit lane. So something's come loose on that very smartly liveried green, British Racing green Ginetta. You can see the team looking under the back of the car, so something's come loose there, we think, the SVG Ginetta. Owen Hizzy and Mark Elman. Sparks were spotted coming from under that car. Let's hope it's just a bit of trim or a bit of aero that can be reattached. So the Lamborghini coming round to lap Josh Tomlinson, who's now at the wheel of the Ginetta number 83, which is up to 7th and running well, leading its class, with the 74 car having just had to make a 2nd unscheduled stop. The Lamborghini goes through the number 63 of Mikael Mack. The Audi continues to lead the way. 2:03.315, the best lap that car has done this race, a personal best for it, for Marcus Clutton. See what his lead is. It was just over 8 seconds over Stephen Tompkins after the pit stops had played out. You can see what the gap is to the number 63 Lamborghini. There's a 26 version, which is down in about 12th place now after its extra stop. We don't know the reason for the extra stop there, unless it was a scheduled one. Lights flashing from the KTM behind. There's that XPTCC Team Hard VW Passat as well. It's the Curran and Henry car. 28 laps completed, just over 8 seconds in between the two leaders. The 74 car going back out after its extra stop. Not with the under tray by the look of it there. Now is the number 63 Lamborghini of Mack catching Tompkins? No, it's not. Well, that's made a 2nd stop, so whether Keith Freezer's back in the car, we don't know. It was a penalty for that car, in fact. Change for 9th place. Alan Thompson's got the Jaguar ahead of Sam Allpass, who has finally left the pits. That was a long stop for the Solution F BMW. The gap has increased again to 9.3 seconds this time through. There's Mikael Mack. Going to be able to close in, not at the moment. So it was a slower lap last time through for Stephen Tompkins at 2:04.2, so maybe he was dealing with traffic. 29 minutes of this race to go now. We can head down to Ian in the pits, who's with SVG Motorsports. Got an update on their Ginetta.
Yeah, welcome down to the pits, everybody. We've just seen the 74 Ginetta, Owen Hizzy piloting that one. It's just come into the pits. We think it might have a bit of an electrical issue. However, if you're wondering how much rubber is out on track, this came out of the front bumper of that Ginetta. Look at that. That is pure rubber from the track. That is quite incredible. Look at that. Really, really satisfying to touch as well, actually. I think I'm going to keep this as a memento. Dave, back to you.
The 74 car back in the race, as we just heard from Ian down there. Thankfully not too serious for Owen Hizzy and Mark Elman. They're in 15th place, second of the Ginetta class, being led by McGregor and Tomlinson. They're together on the track now, as you can see there, coming through Beckett's, coming up on the 34 VW Passat. Now, looking at the battle in the TCR class as well, there's only just under 5 seconds between the Hull and Avery Cupra, the Beeson and Heeler. George Heeler, I think, now at the wheel of the Audi RS3. There's going to be a battle for the lead in the TCR class, and in fact has the Audi already got through there. There is the Audi of George Heeler. Now he's on the tail of the Cupra. You can see they're together on the track now, coming through the loop. This is for 13th overall, and for the, more importantly, the lead of the class. As I know Paul Sheard's team are desperate to win the TCR category this year. They'll try and challenge for the overall title as well. Currently second in the TCR points, just 3 points behind Ashley Woodman and Martin Byford. They want a class win to ensure they go top in TCR in the points this year. Fastest lap of the race still with Stephen Tompkins in the Aston Martin Vulcan. He's 8.5 seconds down on Marcus Clutton for the lead. That was quicker by 8/10 of a second on that last lap. Mikael Mack 2:05.7 in the Lamborghini in third place. So the battle is joined between the two TCR machines. Going up to 45 minutes of the race to go. We are past half distance in this round 4 of the MS UK British Endurance Championship. Still leads from Tompkins, and the lead gap is increasing. Yes, 11.8 seconds this time, so he's pulled away by over 3 seconds on that last lap. I can only assume Tompkins was caught in a bit of traffic. And the Audi, meanwhile, has taken the lead of the TCR category. I suspected that would occur. That's for 13th overall.